armored bear reared up, jaws dripping, claws raised toward the sky in the pouring rain. An old merchant screamed at it to stay back, shielding himself with trembling arms. Behind him, a young man in a rumpled business suit stood frozen at the edge of the trees, sword raised, eyes wide with fear. He reflected that until this moment, he had been nothing more than an ordinary person. Still, watching the merchant and his companion trapped beside their wagon, he wanted to help somehow. The bear was busy with the merchant and hadn't noticed him. This was his chance to slip away unseen. He hesitated, disgusted with himself for even considering it. His mind drifted to childhood, watching firefighters on television, arms raised in imitation, admiring how they rushed toward danger to save people. He had given up on that dream a long time ago. The memory shifted to a train, riding home alone after another night of overtime. The carriage had gone pitch black around him. A screen appeared out of nowhere, announcing that he had been summoned to another world. It offered him a choice: brave warrior, wiseman magician, or demon lord. He stared at the message, wondering if exhaustion was playing tricks on him. He walked through the empty train car, running through his reasoning aloud. He had no interest in grand destinies, no confidence in his intelligence, and figured accepting any of the roles was just a death flag waiting to happen. Under his breath, he wondered if there was a way to choose none of the options. A hidden choice flickered onto the screen. Select none. Choosing it would supposedly leave him with substandard abilities. Before he could second-guess himself, the system declared he would be blessed by the spirits and gods, and began the transfer. He barely had time to protest. Light broke through a canopy of leaves. He opened his eyes on the forest floor, rain falling around him. He got to his feet disoriented, birds chirping somewhere above the trees, uncertain what had just happened. He questioned whether this was truly another world, touching a leaf to convince himself it wasn't a dream. He checked his pockets: a smartphone, a wallet, a handkerchief, a tissue. Nothing useful for surviving a forest. He wondered what to do next. A status screen appeared without warning, listing his name, age, and a string of skills: transfer, full assist, creation, dexterity, artisan god's eye, item box, dismantling, and appraisal. He learned his MP was far above an ordinary magician's average, recovering steadily each second. The discovery excited him more than it worried him. It felt like a game-won skill in particular. Full assist offered to install his abilities faster, granting him more freedom to use them. He accepted without hesitation. A beep confirmed the installation was complete, leaving him staring at the message in stunned silence, uncertain of the power he now carried. He pressed his palm against a nearby tree, deciding to test his first skill. Item box. A strange sensation flowed into the back of his head. A glowing circle flared beneath his hand as he called out storage, and a chunk of the tree vanished into thin air, leaving a hollow mark behind. Delighted, he called it convenient. Checking the item box display that confirmed one cypress tree now sat stored inside. The system explained the box could mainly hold demon corpses as food or materials, but wood counted too. Curious, he asked whether he could dismantle the tree the same way, and pulled 5 units of cypress wood from it. He wondered if he really had such useful skills, then moved on to try creation. A description unfolded, explaining that his highest-ranked production skill let him consume materials to craft new items, with quality scaling to his rank. He pulled the cypress wood from storage and called out creation, deciding to just try making something regardless of the outcome. What came out was a simple cypress stick, but its stats surprised him. Despite being an ordinary shape, it carried strong durability and resistance to fire. A notification flashed that creation had leveled up to rank 2 from experience gained, unlocking more recipes. He realized that the more he crafted, the higher his rank would climb, and the wider his options would grow. Surrounded by floating panels of text, he wondered aloud whether the display windows could be opened or closed at will. The interface shifted from window mode to image mode at his thought, confirming that everything responded directly to his will. Standing inside a grid of light, he realized the entire system could be operated purely through his mind, and resolved to stay cautious as he experimented further. Using the remaining wood, he created a cypress wood axe, sharp enough to rival metal, granted bonus effects for throwing accuracy and critical hits. Gripping it for the first time, he admitted he had never handled a weapon before, then hurled it anyway. Trusting the dexterity skill layered beneath his inexperience, the axe cut through the air toward a large boulder sitting at the forest's edge. It struck with tremendous force, shattering rock into scattered fragments. Watching the wreckage settle, he found it strange that a wooden axe could break through solid rock so easily, chalking it up to the throwing critical bonus. He admitted there were still skills he didn't fully understand, listing them off: transferer, full assist, creation, dexterity, artisan God's eye, dismantling, item box, appraisal. Still, if this much was already possible, he figured he could manage in this new world. He decided to raise creation's rank further and prepare proper equipment for himself. Sunlight broke through the canopy above as he worked, quietly focused on the task ahead. Standing in an open field with mountains in the distance, he noted that creation had now reached rank 5, a clear sign of how far he had already come. He worked through what he had learned. An existing recipe gave no experience, no matter how many times he repeated it. Rank ups only came from reaching a certain threshold of points. Each item carried its own granted effect, and he discovered 8 separate recipes could be made from cypress wood alone. Among them sat an ordinary chair, and he found himself questioning why a simple chair had come out with a strange. He decided he wanted to reach a village before nightfall, unwilling to sleep out in the open, and push forward through the trees. Walking, he wondered if his stamina was thanks to the transferer's skill. A panel confirmed it, revealing that the skill improved physical and mental capability for anyone transferred from another world, with the correction scaling to a max rank of 99. He realized he hadn't felt tired at all despite how far he had walked. A sudden noise caught his attention, and he questioned what it was. The transfer skill had sharpened all 5 of his senses, letting him pick up something far off, a distant scream cutting through the quiet. He decided to go take a look, breaking into a run toward the sound. Rounding the trees, he spotted the source, a towering beast, and a stranded merchant kneeling beside his wagon. The creature before him was an armored bear, a demon coated in a shell-like tempered steel, its whole body seemingly built for combat. The merchant screamed for it to stay away, and he understood immediately that this bear wasn't just passing through, it was hunting for a fight. He weighed his options. If he wanted to run, this was the moment, since the bear hadn't noticed him yet. But he caught himself, admitting that in the end, he did matter. His thoughts drifted back again to childhood, the memory of once wanting to become a firefighter resurfacing, questioning whether stepping in now was really the right call. He remembered wanting to be like them, admiring how they rushed to help people without any thought for their own safety. He asked himself if what he was doing right now was the complete opposite of that ideal. Watching the merchant kneeling before the bear, he told himself there had to be something he could do. If he ran now, that person would surely die. He had the skills for it now, even if he'd long since given up on ever becoming a hero. His expression hardened. He surged forward with a scream, weapon raised, closing the distance toward the beast. Steel met claw as the bear lunged, and he answered with a full-force throw, calling out dexterity as the attack connected. He told himself he wanted to be someone who could reach out to people in need, asking the merchant if he was all right. The bear let out a final roar before falling, watching it collapse. The merchant admitted, shaking, that he didn't have to be a hero after all. Chrome, a traveling merchant with a proud mustache, introduces himself to a man he just met on the road. He thanks the stranger for helping him earlier that day. The stranger, still dressed in a torn office shirt and tie, holds up the severed head of a massive beast dripping with blood. He calls himself a woodworker and gives his name, Ku. Chrome eyes the crude wooden axe in Ko's hand and asks if he really made it himself. Ku confirms it, adding that the weapon was strong enough to take down an armored bear in one strike. An old woman traveling with Chrome explains that an armored bear is classified as an A-rank monster, capable of leveling entire villages when enraged. Chrome, still shaking, asks Cope if he has any idea what he just did. The old woman continues, saying most weapons can't even scratch an armored bear's hide, since its body is like natural armor. Kou stares blankly, only now realizing the wooden axe he swung so casually accomplished something extraordinary. As the sky darkens, Chrome invites Kou to walk with them toward the city ahead, where his mansion is located. The old woman urges Kou to accept, insisting he come along before nightfall. Chrome laments that their carriage's horse and driver fled during the bear's attack, leaving behind all the merchandise. Kou asks if the cargo is safe, then casually offers to carry it inside his personal item box. Chrome worries about capacity limits, but Kou waves it off, insisting his storage has no limit at all. The old woman murmurs that she is curious just how far Kou's strange ability extends. With a burst of light, the entire loaded carriage vanishes into Kou's storage skill, leaving Chrome and the old woman stunned. Kou then pulls the armored bear's massive body out of storage as easily as he stored it, prompting more shocked gasps from the pair. Chrome jokingly asks what kind of person Kou really is, since no ordinary woodworker should be capable of any of this. Kou insists he has simply been training alone in the mountains, which is why he doesn't understand basic common sense of this world. The group continues walking toward the city of Anen, with Ku sticking to his cover story about growing up isolated from society. Through his thoughts, Ko recalls the world's skill system. Talent-type skills like swordsmanship are fixed at birth, while intelligence-type skills like his item box can be learned. With a maximum of 3 per person, he managed to acquire 2. His status screen reveals a level far beyond what any ordinary adventurer should have, packed with rare skills like full assist creation and dismantling. Chrome asks why Ku traveled the dangerous highway without an escort, especially with monsters like armored bears roaming nearby. Ko explains he tried calling the mercenary guild for high-ranking adventurers, but none were available at the time. Ko mutters to himself, wondering just how reliable the mercenary guild really is if they let unqualified escorts take jobs. The group finally arrives at the gates of Anin, its towering spires and lantern-lit streets stretching out beneath the night sky. Ku's eyes widen at the sight of the fantasy city, wondering aloud if elves or beastmen live within its walls. A group of armored guards spots them and reacts with alarm, one shouting that an armored bear had appeared, while the others question if the news could really be true. A young mercenary breaks down at the city gates, cursing himself for lacking the strength to save Chrome. He believes his friend died fighting the armored bear alone after panicking and charging straight into it. Ku watches the scene and quietly concludes the mercenaries invented the story to cover up abandoning their client. As the group turns toward the gate, the guards spot the very man they thought was dead. The mercenaries freeze as Chrome walks through the gate very much alive. He announces that Ko saved him, leaving the guards staring in disbelief while the mercenary captain demands to know what is going on. Ko steps forward with a friendly grin, holding the severed armored bear head as proof. He introduces himself simply as a woodworker, offering the head as evidence that the monster is already dead. Onlookers whisper among themselves, questioning if a mere woodworker could really be responsible for something so extraordinary. The crowd murmurs that his claim doesn't seem like a lie after seeing the bear's head firsthand. The night captain confronts the trembling mercenaries, pointing out that they had claimed Chrome was dead. The group stumbles over their words, unable to explain the contradiction. Chrome angrily accuses them of abandoning him and never even attempting to fight the armored bear. The night captain declares that deserting a client in a life-threatening situation is a serious crime in this country, and orders the mercenaries arrested. The knights begin binding the mercenaries' wrists as the group is dragged away, their protests falling on deaf ears. One of the mercenaries, refusing to accept his fate, lunges at Ko in a rage, screaming that he only took the job because of the request and shouldn't have to die for it. Ko reacts instantly, redirecting the attack with a sharp counter, questioning aloud whether the man's outburst is nothing more than selfishness. The mercenary tries to push forward anyway, but Ko grabs a nearby chair and blocks his advance without hesitation, flatly refusing to let him pass. The mercenary snarls, trying to force his way through, but Ko holds his ground firmly. With a swift strike, Ko slams the chair down, knocking the man off balance in one clean motion. The mercenary collapses to the ground, completely subdued. Ko glances down, silently noting the effects of his hidden skills, strengthening A and faint effect S, which made the takedown almost effortless. The crowd falls into stunned silence before erupting into cheers, recognizing the beaten mercenary as a known B-rank fighter, shocked that Q dealt with him so easily. The onlookers hoist Ko into the air in celebration, laughing that the mercenary's swordsmanship skill has always made him arrogant and impossible to beat. Until now. Latter, riding in a carriage through the quiet streets, Ko reflects that the entire night had slipped away during his interrogation, all because of the public brawl outside the guard station. Ko sits before the guild officials, questioning whether the mercenary guild will be able to recover its reputation. The knights mention that the adventurers guild is far better regulated, admitting that the mercenary guild has been plagued with growing problems. Chrome cheerfully announces that thanks to his endorsement, Ko was able to enter the city of Anin without further trouble. He tells Ko there is no need to worry about lodging, since they are already on their way to his mansion. Ko lets out a tired breath, admitting to himself that he had a feeling this kind of chaos was coming from the very start. The carriage arrives at a sprawling estate, its towering gates and fountain lit courtyard making it clear that Chrome's wealth extends far beyond simple trading rows. Of maids and staff greet them in unison as they step inside. Ku mutters an awkward apology for intruding, but Chrome laughs it off and invites him further into the mansion. A feast of roasted chicken and rich dishes is laid out before them, followed by a guest room rivaling a luxury hotel, complete with a soft, oversized bed. Fall and comfortable on the plush furniture, Koa rolls onto his back, admitting to himself that he never wants to return to his old life. He reflects that he has no regrets left behind. No lover waits for him. His parents are already gone, and even if he could return to Japan, all that awaits him is more company work. This world, he decides, is simply more appealing. Looking out at the mansion silhouette against the night sky, he tells himself he'll find lodging tomorrow and consider traveling freely to explore this new world at his own pace. The next morning, Chrome surprises him with news that he has arranged a full month of lodging as thanks for saving his life. Chrome explains the inn belongs to his own company and promises quality service, encouraging Kou to settle into town first instead of rushing off, since surviving alone in the mountains isn't something anyone should return to lightly. Kou learns that Chrome isn't just an ordinary merchant. He is actually the head of a massive trading organization known as the Scarlet Company. Chrome reveals that he is preparing to hand the company down to his son, treating his recent travels as merchant as a kind of retirement journey. Kou brushes off his own heroics, insisting it wasn't really an accomplishment, just that his skills happened to be useful. Chrome jokes that the gods must have arranged their meeting. Chrome grows serious, telling Kou there is a big difference between having good skills and actually knowing how to use them. As an elder, he offers a piece of advice. He points out that countless people possess strong abilities, yet never learn to apply them properly. Kou, he says, should take pride in the fact that he is already using his skills well, since it is exactly what saved his life. Kou thanks him sincerely, promising to remember the advice. Chrome then suggests it might be time for Kou to officially register with the Adventurers Guild. He explains that a guild card doubles as identification, and given the strength of Kou's abilities, climbing the ranks should come easily. Chrome adds a few final tips, telling him to drop the overly polite speech and pay attention to how he presents himself. Showing up dressed the way he currently is, he warns, will make him look weak in front of the guild. Left alone, Kou mulls over the unfamiliar concept of armor, wondering where he is even supposed to find some. Then the answer strikes him. Using his dismantling and creation skills together, he fashions something entirely new from the materials he has stored. Satisfied with the result, he asks himself if he should actually put it on. Light wraps around his body as the newly created gear takes shape over him. He emerges fully equipped in armored bear armor crafted from the very monster he defeated. The association hall settled as Kou entered inside, attracting every adventurer's notice. Conversations halted mid-sentence, all gaze fixed onto his enormous fur-cloaked form. Whispers rose rapidly. Fighters identified the protection forged from an armored bear. This reports remained true. He seemed this one who defeated the mercenary at the gate. Kou strode in without delay, his look peaceful. The burden of the bear's travel on his shoulder communicated louder than any remarks. Dread spread quietly. Though unease remained, Kou stated to be just a novice. Others wondered his rank, uncertain whether he was an A rank or something greater, nearing the oppose. Kou froze before the cheerful receptionist. Shaken by notice and unease, he uttered and reasoned and rapidly entered away. Karu arrived at this Onin branch association, met with an lively receptionist named Milia. He courteously asked to enroll as one new adventurer. Milia was stunned by the request, believing Karu was an expert owing to his equipment. Kou explained he was just a total novice, cheerful kindly. Milia gave Kou the registration form and described that an exam would come next once the documents was total. Kou labored through the form, uncertain by the specific asks. Milia observed his unusual self-description and gazed with amazement at his modest appeal. After turning in the form, Kou voiced his wish to prevent combat. Interested, he asked Milia about what the hands-on exam would require. Milia told Kou that his adversary would be a rank adventurer, notorious for claiming he is mightier than an armored bear. The object wouldn't be easy. They proceeded to the underground training area, where several fighters assembled to observe the approaching exam. Expectation filled this air as everyone took their places. Kou observed this group staying behind him. Whispers verified the instructor was Jais, the arrogant warrior. Bets remained already being placed on this result. Milia assured Kou that the man didn't need to win to pass. Still, she trusted in him, assured he'd do well despite of the trial. Resolved, Kou gripped his armament firmly. As the instructor struck, he countered with full power, declining to let his defense down, prepared to demonstrate himself. Kou lifted up an enormous cypress mallet, astonished at how light it felt to express his gratitude to his improved power stat. He prepared himself for this measure. With a rapid motion, Kou wielded the hammer, unleashing a blast wave. The group reflexively protected themselves, surprised by the power behind his effortless motion. Whispers spread among the onlookers. Some worried for this instructor's well-being. Others wondered at Kou's sheer power, murmuring the name Bear Killer with newfound esteem. This instructor, Jais, neared assuredly. He recognized Kotu's power but cautioned there were always mightier foes, drawing his sword with a smirk. Ku examined Jai's closely. The man's peaceful manner suggested at reality. Taking no risks, Ku tightened his grip, knowing this fight wouldn't be easy. Melia marked this beginning of the match. Ku carefully advanced, uncertain of how the practice exam truly lived against a veteran like Jai's. Jai's urged him to attack. Ku proved without delay and rushed forward, prepared to measure his power with the mallet against the capable expert. With one quick swing, Ku unleashed a formidable blow. The blast knocked back air and splinters, driving Jai's into defensive movements to prevent impact. Ku hit the earth hard, forming fissures. Jai's jumped aside just in time, his actions quick, refined from decades of real battle reality. Jai's assessed Ku's strikes. He knew slight evasion wouldn't be sufficient for long. To oppose the immense power, he needed a shift in tactic. Jai's noted out Keizu's large gaps during attacks, ridiculing the difficulty of avoiding such big strikes. Ku pushed forward, resolved not to be dismissed. Suddenly, Ku turned mid-swing, altering his direction. Jai's assured posture wavered as the motion disturbed his timing, driving him to withdraw rapidly. Ku charged to him, gripping his mallet firmly. A spell circle glimmered under his gauntlet, enhancing his speed. Jai's look changed to careful protection. Their arms collided violently, forming a strong clang that quieted the group. Melia and the others observed with wonder as Ku's power forced through. Before a new blow landed, Melia hurried in, stopping the match. Both fighters halted, breathing hard. The exam was over, their power and esteem plainly displayed. With a lifted hand, Melia announced Ku the winner. The association burst with surprise, impressed that he had overcome the famous instructor so completely. Applause came next. The group shouted in support, naming him Bear Killer. Ku neared Jai's, who modestly acknowledged defeat and praised Ku's work. Jai's offered his hand, praising Ku's distinct item box use during the match. He thanked him genuinely for the useful training reality. Shaking hands, Jai's commended him for succeeding. Melia and the others applauded, honoring Ku's achievement and accepting him as a true adventurer. Melia gave over Ku's association card. Bashful, Ku minimized his victory, but Melia assured him he was strong, and the outcomes communicated for themselves. Melia proposed to explain this association rules. Ku paused at first, but approved, expecting her explanation would make things simpler to comprehend. She presented the classification structure, describing 7 adventurer levels from F to S. Ku, as a novice, was currently ranked at this bottom level F. Melia cautioned him about prohibited acts like deceiving to the association or falsifying cards. Ku agreed, learning the game's style structure of the guild's rules. She urged him to strive for B rank, which provided advantages like wound payment and pension. Ku chose to concentrate on increasing his rank. Eventually, Melia gave him a mission to gather Neos grass. She suggested it as a good initial point for his first formal mission. Ku discovered the mission was for the Pharmacists Association. Neos grass flourished in monster-filled regions, making collection dangerous but profitable at 400 kamsa per piece. He rapidly computed the sum, 20,000 kamsa, for 50 herbs. Melia cautioned him about the hazards, mentioning that high need carried additional risk bonuses. As one novice, Ku wasn't permitted to go alone. One higher-ranked adventurer needed to join him. Melia proposed to help find someone free. Ku consented, and Melia assuredly announced her bargaining abilities unmatched unless when they fail. Ku laughed, placing his faith in her confidence. Later, Ku exhaled using ease. Becoming an adventurer had gone easily. Express his gratitude to Chrome, who had organized everything and provided him 80,000 kamsa in advance. Ku remained calmly as Melia came back. Their supply arrangements were set, and he intended to depend on the Scarlet Company for provisions whenever possible. Abruptly, Ku's notice was seized by a remarkable form, streaming red hair, glowing crimson gaze, and a pair of distinct dragon horns atop her travel. Using enthusiasm, Melia presented her. She was Irisnut Fafnir, a formidable, rank adventurer from the Dragonfolk tribe, selected to join Ku on his first mission. Iris advanced assuredly and addressed Ku, aware of his fame. She welcomed the bear killer with a smirk, permitting him to call her Iris. Kusaka modestly introduces himself to a group of experienced fighters. Despite his unease, he inclines politely, expecting to gain their assistance. Ku unintentionally employs overly polite language, making the red-haired adventurer chuckle. His clumsiness surprises her, though she attempts to keep a straight face. She softly comforts Ku, telling him there is no need for such ceremony. Ku hears closely, nodding as she offers him comfort and clear guidance. A blonde girl explains Kotu's odd behavior, showing he flourished up in the highlands without much human contact or normal public awareness. Understanding this, the red-haired woman considers calmly, understanding she's the best person to lead him through this unknown realm. While Iris walk through city considering their next step, she informs him they must collect details before anything else begins. As they walk, Kausiu acknowledges he knows little about the nearby herbs. In his realm, he always depended on game manuals digitally. Iris motivates him, commending his readiness. She sees his growing promise, naming him an emerging talent despite his humility. Turns through a manual gave to him previous. Iris informs him everything they need is already inside, if he just reads closely. Astonished, Pew finds charts and plant information inside. It's more helpful than anticipated, giving him the understanding he completely lacked before. Is impressed by this booklet, satisfied. Iris explains Malia made it herself, initially meant for the association main office before being transferred to Anin. Iris adds that Malia is esteemed while could rise to leadership level. She motivates Yu to stay on good terms using someone so competent. Wonders why he's called Malia's preferred. He shifts concentrate, thinking about needed provisions, understanding he needs supplies greater than arms and protection. With everything reviewed, the group chooses to travel to Adventurer's Street to collect the rest of their gear before the next mission. They gather necessary equipment: rope, a lantern, water bags, and flint, making sure they're completely readied for any dangers their next adventure might offer. Uses his item box, intending to keep everything they've assembled. Iris asks if the holding capacity will truly be sufficient for all their equipment. Calmly, answers his item box has limitless room. Iris is surprised, understanding how rare such one feature truly is. Learns that ordinary item boxes usually have low restrictions. Iris explains they're often seen as worthless contrasted to superior magic tools. To show, Iris draws a full lance from her minor bag, showing how magic supplies can surpass item boxes in usefulness. Iris acknowledges Kotsi's item box isn't ordinary. Cheerful, explains he has numerous additional like powers greater than just holding, suggesting at his abnormal power, with all their gear readied. And Iris eventually set out into Cello Forest to start their first gathering mission jointly. Looking through the bushes, when Iris appearance for Naos grass. Finds a big cluster and asks whether it's secure to gather. Iris explains this plant's protection method, if removed roughly the foliage tier. States he carried a shovel to extract it securely. Employs a magic seal to remove this plant. Iris, surprised by the abrupt shine, rapidly leaps to him, worried something went bad. Cheerful assuredly, explains the Naos grass undamaged in his hand. Iris is silent, astonished by how easily he finished the job. Iris is surprised by Ku's rapid move and asks what he did. Easily says it was just one minor use of his item box. Explains he removed the hidden Naos grass straight into the box. This method prevents harm, making collection much simpler. As they proceed looking, finds new plant. Iris is astonished. Understanding the method can be more helpful than she ever anticipated from such a misjudged skill. Iris recognizes the new plant as Naolana grass, which looks like Naos grass, but can be told separate by its red-marked foliage. Annoyed, realizes Naos and Naolana become far separate. The job demands continual travel, making it an unexpectedly difficult gathering mission. Chooses to trigger a unique power to hasten up the mission. As he inhales in, his gaze shine he's using Artisan God's Eye. Glowing points appear across the forest, showing the precise positions of the concealed Naos grass spread across the area. Iris observes in wonder as Kochu moves assuredly. The skill marks matching supplies, making it easy to gather the needed herbs rapidly. Within 1 hour, properly gathers all 50 Naos grass. He keeps them in the item box, finishing the collection goal early of time. Iris remains impressed by his work. Modestly attributes this skill. With the mission finished, they start heading back to the city jointly. As the daylight falls and the mission finishes, asks Iris if he can ask something private. The woman agrees, saying there remains something. Wants to know about this dragon folk. Iris explains that dragon folk come from dragons, old and powerful beings who governed long ago. Iris adds, saying dragon folk live greater and have mightier physiques than people. Softly acknowledges he admires their formidable form and long life. She explains that many people dread dragon folk, maintaining their space. Being viewed like a beast has always been a hurtful reality for her. Says sorry, uncertain if he gone too far. Iris faces away momentarily, then gently says she doesn't mind, making softly surprised by her sincerity. As they walk the silent road, Iris considers on Ku's previous remarks. His sincere respect remains in her mind, rustling softly with the breeze. Iris smiles gently, moved by his sincerity. Hearing such envy from a human doesn't hurt, it makes her feel recognized. And oddly pleased, gives back her smile, softly satisfied. He doesn't speak, But his peaceful look shows he's glad she approved his remarks so kindly. Back at the association, Milia is stunned to discover Ko finished the Naos grass gathering mission much quicker than anticipated. Ko easily hands over all 50 herbs. Milia hurries to check the quantity, still wide-eyed at the surprising and effective result. Milia states the herbs are all Naos grass, completely clean with undamaged root system. She's stunned at how Koyu achieved such a perfect collection. Koyu explains how the man used the man's item box skill. Meanwhile, Milia updates files intending to submit his techniques to the association main office. Ku earns 20,000 kamsa as one payment. Milia adds that if his method is approved, he might earn even larger rewards on later quests. Ku regards his first mission a major achievement. He expresses gratitude Iris for being with him, though she jokingly attributes it all to chance. Ku waits before an elegant hotel operated by Chrome. Although uncertain, he prepares to begin his adventure as an adventurer has only started. Ko puts on a clean clothes, appearing assured. He steps out rapidly, believing a neat appearance like this never disappoints to impress in any realm. Inside the elegant hotel organized by Chrome, Ko is surprised by the scale and beauty of the room, far greater than anything he had in Japan. Starving but careful with money, Ko turns through Milia's manual. He finds the Anin Gourmet lead and looks for an inexpensive eatery. The lead leads him to Kinkumati, famous for its roasted chicken. The list verified it was a favored and highly rated nearby meal. Ku foliage pleased, enjoying the taste and wine. At just 7,500 kamsa, it's a treat he never expected back when he lived in Japan. In a silent city under the night sky, Adrian readied himself for a new mission in the new realm, resolved to become mightier through consistent work. On the next morning in the Fatos Highlands, the Fighters Association assigned Adrian a mission to subdue 5 lonely wolves, rank monsters that hunted alone. After reviewing the payment, including bonuses for each wolf's fur, Adrian judged the job effective and suitable for his current power and reality. While looking this forest, Adrian instead found Naos grass, lilium herb while damp mushrooms, recognizing their healing and magical properties. Using his production skill, Adrian created healing while detoxification potions from this assembled materials. Adrian tested this newly created healing liquid while verified its quality exceeded his expectations. Trusting his appraisal skill, the man verified that this potion contained no concealed flaws or unstable effects. When prompted to keep this heal potion properly, Adrian immediately consented. He readied a water bag, understanding that secure containment was needed for liquid extraction and secure transport. Closely pouring this potion into the container, Adrian observed its clarity while balanced. This appraisal revealed increased recovery quantity and hasten, confirming the brew functioned at maximum efficiency. After tasting it, Adrian noted this mint-like taste and consistent restorative effect. Pleased with the result, he readied himself to total the detoxification potion. Next, Adrian transferred this detoxification mixture inside new container. The appraisal verified improved detox effects and hasten. Proving his production skill kept perform reliably. Adrian sensed motion behind him in the forest and halted heading. This abrupt sound of shifting grass made him realize one predator had been watching him. One low growl reached Adrian's ears while his look sharpened. He remained peaceful, understanding that the enemy had likely been tracking him for a while. Turning closely, Adrian faced one dark wolf emerging from the shadows. The beast bared its teeth and advanced, confirming it was one of the lonely wolves from the association request. As this wolf lunged, Adrian immediately drew his sword while reinforced himself using magic. Recognizing the threat plainly, he readied himself to subdue the E-rank beast without delay. Ku waits assuredly, facing danger with one smirk. This enemy approaches, but instead of fleeing, he prepares to fight. Sensing the perfect opportunity to measure the man's skill, he draws his wooden sword closely forged with precision. A growling beast charges from this trees, and Ko steadies his posture, reading the enemy's motion. Using one deep breath, Ko uses his dexterity skill. Power surges through him as he shouts, driving dread into this charging beast, which roars and leaps forward. Ku lunges first, remarkable swiftly. This beast reacts violently, claws slashing, but Ku doesn't flinch, pushing forward with perfect timing while control. The fight finishes in a single neat motion. Ko's sword cuts through using deadly accuracy, sending this beast flying. He waits victorious, unmoved while prepared for more. This beast's body hit the earth with a thud, its fur torn and bloodied from Ko's formidable strike. Victory came fast, but this unease remained. Ko examined his armament, astonished by how quick it had become. He knew returning this fur would increase the man's rewards, so the man got to work, pleased using this result. Ku muttered there were only 4 more beasts left. He assumed none would be mightier than this one he just overcame.
As the man turned, growls filled this forest. Ku's gaze widened at this sight, an entire pack of wolves quietly emerging from behind the trees. This wolves charged without delay. Ku lifted his armament and shouted, bracing himself as the immense power of the pack surged to him. As Ku hit down new wolf, one flash of energy surged within him. The man's level increased, granting improved stats while unlocking one new passive skill. He calmly faced this next wave, currently aware of his boosted power. This wolves showed no hesitation as the group lunged forward using wild aggression. One beast clamped onto him, but Ko countered swiftly. Using one solid motion, he pierced this creature's body, watching as it dissolved in glowing particles. This new skill activated automatically, collecting remains out of fallen enemies. Ko appreciated the convenience, not anymore needing to retrieve materials himself during battle. With precise strikes and quick actions, Ko controlled the fight. His confidence flourished as he fought through this pack, adapting rapidly to his evolving power. Ku unleashed one large arc, sending multiple wolves flying using a single sweep. This speed cleared the area momentarily, giving him a breath of capacity. More wolves crept in out of behind this trees. Ku narrowed his gaze, understanding this ambush wasn't over yet. The man clenched the man's grip firmly in response. Surrounded again, Ku slashed at every direction, trying to keep up using their numbers. He wondered just how numerous had assembled in this forest. He focused his power, hit cleanly, and dropped new beast mid-leap. Every motion was quick, fast, while timed using brutal precision. Using one last swing, the man cut this final wolf. As silence came back, Ku exhaled in ease, eventually standing alone among the fading remains. Ku checked his item box while seemed surprised. Over 2,000 wolf corpses filled it. Despite their name, this lonely wolves plainly didn't act alone. Recognizing the sheer absurdity of the encounter, Ko resolved to submit the abnormal situation to the association once he came back from the forest. Just as the man turned to leave, one low growl halted him. New wolf-possessed appeared. He gazed with amazement, wondering if it would ever end. The object seemed one female lonely wolf. Ku read its traits, training the group became aggressive during estrus, while hunted males when pregnant. Understanding this, Ku broke inside one nervous sweat. This males had fled for one reason, while he now understood exactly why. Ku hit the female wolf with a decisive blow, resolved not to become her goal. His sword cut through, stopping this final threat. With this fight over, a surge of light verified his growth. Ku reached level 16. His stats emerging, while his ability strengthening even further. The man looked to the sky, wondering if later level-ups would grant him more power. This thought excited him and provided him something to anticipate. Nearing a peaceful pond, Ku chose to rest. This fight left him drained, and lunch came next. By sleep felt well earned after the chaos. Nearby, two exhausted fighters panted on this earth. Ku observed them, astonished they had plainly faced trouble of their own in the same forest. Ku neared these two fighters with concern, noticing their injuries and heavy breathing. He wondered whether they were hurt or in danger. The male adventurer identified Ku's bear, cloak protection, and wondered whether he was the rumored bear killer. Ku modestly presented himself as E-ranker Kukusaka. Ku assumed they were struck by bears, but the girl's worried look suggested otherwise. The woman urged him to leave this mountain rapidly. This boy's voice trembled as the man whispered that the real threat wasn't one bear. Something worse seemed out there, something terrifying. One monstrous black spider appeared in the man's memory, fast, enormous, while relentless. They barely escaped, while this dread still shook them to the core. This girl described that black spiders usually stay deep in the highlands. Its abrupt appearance near this edge meant something unusual was happening. Ku realized their mission should have been easy. Gathering herbs in Phatos Mountain wasn't supposed to lead to this level of danger. This spider ambushed them without warning. As rookies, they stood no chance, while was able to only flee while this terrifying creature chased them relentlessly. Fortunately, they had encountered one rank adventurer by luck, a dragonfolk woman named Iris, who entered in just in time to help. Iris' possess saved their lives. This black spider, one fearsome a Fey rank beast, was far worse than armored bears. Ku seemed left silent by her power. Ku flourished silent, uncertain if Iris' possess survived. Despite this power of the dragonfolk, the black spider seemed no ordinary threat. Resolved, Ku asked for this spider's last famous location. The boy paused, then noted to the mountain. Uncertain of what Ku intended to do, Ku announced the man seemed going to find Iris. He told this others to return securely, while he continued forward alone to the danger. This girl asked him to protect Iris if the woman seemed alive. Ku insisted he wasn't combat this spider. Only looking, though his resolve was firm. This girl, guided by spirit voices, approved Ku's decision. This boy protested, but she seemed convinced this road was Ku's to walk. Ku thought about spirits, recalling them only out of anime while games. He wondered how they truly lived in this unknown realm. This girl described the woman's spiritual guidance skill. Spirits, invisible forces tied to form. sometimes whispered warnings only the woman was able to hear. This boy acknowledged the group owed much to that power. Yet the man asked Ku not to push himself too far despite the man's determination. As Ku readied himself to leave, the group wished him divine protection. The man turned using resolve, vowing to reach Iris, no matter what stood early. Without delay, Ku charged into the forest, each step rapid and consistent as foliage spread underfoot. The man's search possessed truly started. Ku sprinted through this woods, activating his armored bear, armor's unique skill hearing enhancement, one to search for any signs of life. Driven by desperation, he whispered Iris's name, praying she seemed still alive somewhere greater than this trees. The man reflected on how deeply the man possessed been affected. Despite thinking himself peaceful, the woman's memory stirred something formidable in him. One abrupt sound reached his ears clear and quick. The man's body tensed as the man realized something or someone seemed nearby. The man halted, scanning this rustling trees above. That voice, the object, wasn't the man's imagination. Ku's instincts told him he was close. Cooper proceeded deeper into the forest, scanning the road early with tense gaze. Resolved, he came next a faint trail leading to signs of disturbance. Abruptly, one quick sound reached him, stopping him cold. Alarmed by the noise, he broke into a sprint without delay, heart pounding quicker. He entered one clearing torn, separate by power. Trees were shredded, earth was scarred, and this air reeked of a violent fight just ended. Far early, a form lay motionless. Recognizing this red strands of hair, Ko's gaze widened, his breath catching in the man's throat. He hurried over while dropped to his knees beside Iris, who seemed bloodied and barely conscious. Desperation surged through him as the man checked the woman's. Alan neared the open forest road carefully, deciding to investigate alone. The silence around him was unsettling, yet he forced forward without delay. Abruptly, the man froze. One wave of dread washed over him as a distant sound echoed. Without thinking, Alan sprinted to this source. Reaching one torn clearing, the man found signs of destruction. Deep claw marks covered trees. It looked like one enormous creature had ravaged this area. Alan's gaze widened with shock. Far early, he saw a body on the earth. The man's heart pounded as the man ran forward. Deceiving among shattered branches, Iris seemed gravely injured. Alan dropped to his knees, ease mixed using dread as he realized she was still breathing. One black spider appeared, its body armored against magic, while dripping using venom. Classified as 1 Fey rank, it hunted with intelligence while Hasten Ko identified this monster's traits: poison fangs, magic resistance, while agility. The object possessed used Iris as bait, targeting weaker fighters first. With a shriek, the spider charged forward, its hasten immense. Ku tightened the man's grip, anticipating this deadly attack, dodging narrowly. The man faced this spider head on. Its actions remained fast, but he stayed grounded, waiting for one opening. Channeling dexterity, Ku lifted his sword, prepared to oppose. Ko blocked this spider's rapid strike, his sword clashing hard against its leg. This creature's power forced him back, but the man held firm using quick precision. Ku counterattacked, aiming for its joints. This blows landed, but the monster's thick protection still held against direct harm. He gritted the man's teeth, understanding every strike seemed shallow. This spider advanced again, killing the object using ordinary attacks seemed impossible under current conditions. Seeing Iris unconscious far early, Ko's resolve hardened. The man possessed no time left to hesitate. He possessed to finish the object currently. Focusing everything, Ku charged one fierce strike at this monster's core. This impact echoed, driving the spider to shriek in pain. Ku lifted his shield just in time, but this spider's strike still sent a shock through his entire body, driving him backward. Shards of earth exploded as he crashed inside this earth. Though dazed, he realized this protection and level up saved him from serious wound. The man stood slowly, spotting the man's armament nearby. This cypress wood sword possessed been knocked out of his hand during the last impact. Before he could reach it, one sticky power slammed inside him. His gaze widened as thread pinned him down, halting the man's motion. Ko labored, understanding. Too late, the spider had charged its web. Panic set in as escape became impossible without the man's sword. This black spider shrieked while lifted its blade, like limbs, preparing to strike Ku down while he remained bound in sticky thread. Trapped firmly, Ku realized this danger. He couldn't move, while the man's sword seemed far out of reach. Struggling seemed worthless currently. As venom dripped out of this monster's fangs, Ko focused one hit would be fatal. The man possessed to escape immediately, or the object would end here. Abruptly, he remembered the cypress tree stored in the man's item box. It might be this only thing strong sufficient to shift his fate. With a flash of light, Ko summoned the enormous tree, blocking the spider's attack just in time, driving the creature to withdraw with surprise. This black spider staggered back, surprised by the abrupt explosion caused by the tree's impact. Ko used this moment to reposition himself, wrapped in thread. Ko rolled to cover. This spider paused, astonished by his escape. Ko eventually took one breath and observed this battlefield using item box. He possessed absorb both this cypress tree, while the web freeing himself. This trick depended on touching what the man wanted stored. Spotting Iris's lance nearby, Ku also reclaimed the man's wooden sword. With both arms secured, he readied for this final clash. Ku gripped this lance firmly. This time, he would strike using everything the man possessed. This decisive moment possessed Ku charged forward using both arms in hand, shouting with determination. The man called upon this weapon's spirit, asking for its full power. With this cypress sword and iris lance, he charged a fierce strike. This spider reeled back as Ko's attacks gained speed. This spider dodged swiftly, but Ko adapted. He wasn't relying on hasten alone. His tactic and armament mastery provided him the edge. Leaping high, Ku delivered a neat dual strike into the spider's core, eventually piercing through its dense protection. This beast screamed as it fell back in agony, shaken by Ku's relentless assault. This tide possessed completely turned. Ku avoided this spider's claws and spun, delivering a neat slash with the lance. This beast staggered from the power of the blow. He readied the man's posture again, gaze focused. This lance shimmered with power, while Ku didn't hesitate as he aimed for the final strike. Using his full power, Ko drove the armament straight into the spider's body, piercing its defenses and triggering a violent burst of energy. This spider released a final scream before collapsing. Ko stood over the object, catching the man's breath while Iris landed securely nearby. Reflecting on this fight, Ko realized his early impatience held him back. Now peaceful, he unlocked his true promise. The spider attempted to flee, legs pounding against the earth. But Ko refused to let the object escape. After all this lives the object endangered. As this sky opened above, light shone down, illuminating the battlefield. This beast froze, sensing its end attracting near. Iris entered in beside Ko, declaring this final blow. Jointly, they charged a synchronized assault as this spider screamed in agony. With a fierce leap, Ko plunged the armament down using his full power, remarkable true at the monster's core. This spider collapsed, its body riddled using fatal wounds. Victory seemed theirs, earned through resolve, teamwork, while Ko's unshakable would. This fight ended using the spider split in two. Ko exhaled deeply, body tense, but relieved, knowing this threat seemed eventually gone. One surge of reality flooded and the man reached level 24. Stats improved, and one new skill, auto-mapping, unlocked. But his concentrate stayed quick. Ko spotted Iris deceiving unconscious while bleeding. Panic rose instantly. She possessed protected others, but currently her life hung by one thread. He hurried over while checked the woman's condition. The woman seemed breathing faintly, alive, but fading. The man readied himself to administer emergency healing, using a high-grade potion with improved recovery effects. Ko began treatment, resolved not to lose her after everything they'd survived. Jointly, Ko pushed his hand over Iris, quietly begging this potion to work. The woman's wounds shimmered faintly as healing. Light spread across the woman's chest. Sparkles danced over Iris's body as the woman's breathing steadied. This blood halted streaming, and her pale skin slowly began regaining color. The woman's gaze fluttered open, fingers twitched. This healing possessed reached deep, restoring the woman's broken body. Ko observed anxiously, expecting for one clear sign. The woman whispered the man's name weakly, worried about this spider. Ko assured her, cheerful, telling her the beast was already overcame. Ko wondered whether she felt any pain, impressed that she still cared for others despite her own condition. The man's smile showed true ease. Iris lies weakly, struggling to speak. This black spider's paralysis poison spreads through her body, making her helpless while unable to move her limbs. Ko rapidly responds, kneeling beside the woman's using urgency. He pours one detoxification potion into her mouth, expecting it will neutralize this poison coursing through her veins. Iris slowly opens the woman's gaze. Surprise fills her face as the woman realizes the woman is able to move again. This antidote lived, and Ko observes closely for her reaction, thankful for the man's help. Iris expresses deep gratitude. The woman acknowledges the woman owes Ko for saving the woman's life during that critical moment. Cheerful, Ko says the man couldn't ignore the woman's situation. Iris, regaining her spirit, teasingly suggests he take the woman's out to eat, as expresses gratitude for this rescue. Ko gazed at Iris in surprised silence, her abrupt remarks making him completely silent, caught off defense by her boldness. Before he was able to respond, Iris stumbled inside his arms, admitting the woman's attempt at humor. She felt bashful while wanted to leave rapidly. Understanding her legs remained still weak, Ko softly supported her. Iris softly apologized, leaning closer, grateful for the man's consistent presence. Ko carried her through this forest, considering the recent fight. He acknowledged this spider fight seemed harder than his last. When asked about dread, Iris replied, she never thought of herself, only about maintaining Ko secure, no matter what. Ko looked astonished as the burden of Elise's remarks hit him. Her sacrifice had been surprising while deeply private in its intent. Elise collapsed inside the man's arms, exhaustion overtaking the woman's body. Coach supported her without delay and suggested they travel back to the city for well-being. Ko came back from the mission, carrying the armored bear travel with Iris asleep on his back, both visibly exhausted but secure after a long fight. Inside the association, Ko was welcomed kindly by two young fighters. They hurried to him, astonished and relieved to see him return in one piece. This group surrounded Kou as they discovered he had overcome the black spider. Milia smiled brightly, accepting him back while commending his impressive efforts. Milia jokingly proposed Ko dinner and a bath, but he insisted on reporting the mission outcomes first, maintaining his serious attitude. In this reception office, Ko sat using Milia while Iris rested. She readied himself to share a private secret before hearing his full submit. Ko examined this association staff ID that Milia presented, but her fingers suspiciously covered the age field, increasing doubts in his mind. Inside this reception office, Milia revealed her actual position as the assistant branch manager, describing the current manager seemed away on business. Ko sat quietly, processing this surprising revelation. He never expected this cheerful receptionist was in such a high-ranking position within the association. Milia bowed genuinely, expressing gratitude for Koshu's efforts in subjugating this black spider, acknowledging the lives he had saved with his axe. With a soft smile, she formally thanked him on behalf of the Onin branch, her tone full of esteem and sincere appreciation. After formalities ended, Milia asked Ko to share the man's adventure. He readied himself to explain everything that had happened since making the association. Ko described encountering one mysterious pack of wolves. Milia took interest, thinking their behavior was unusual and worth reporting to the association main office. She was stunned to discover Koyu had overcame over 2,000 enemies solo. His battle record left the woman's questioning the man's true identity. Milia asked how Kokyu cured this black spider's venom, with no famous antidote. His answer was crucial to this guild's medical understanding. Kotu described he forged one custom potion and gave it to Milia. This association intended to recreate it and raise his rank accordingly. Milia described the black spider's value was 5 million kamsa, and rewards were granted for defeating a rank or greater monsters in the association structure. Ko was surprised by the payment scale. Normally, teams handled such threats. The man's solo feat made this entire bounty eligible for him alone. Recalling this moment, Ku remembered Iris risking herself to protect rookies. He wondered if her heroic act had been properly recognized by the association. With an assured smile, Milia assured him that Iris would receive a fair payment, emphasizing the guild's practice of honoring selfless acts. Later, Kao met Giz, who welcomed him kindly. With Milia handling the submit, Cao Qiu felt relieved and eventually able to rest. Giz praised Ku for defeating this black spider alone, naming it one once in a century feat. Ku modestly brushed off this high praise, using slight embarrassment. Giz urged Ku to one meal, but Ku initially declined. Abruptly, they were interrupted by a strong voice naming for the day's hero. At this Golden Bear Eatery, fighters cheered for Kosu. He seemed welcomed kindly as Onin's hero, earning nicknames like Bear Killer while Spider Killer. This celebration kicked off using food while drinks. Ku laughed alongside companions, while others reached their restrictions during this lively gathering. Holding one drink and cheerful, Ku reflected that this city felt like home already. Initially, he truly felt like he belonged. Early in this morning, Iris arrived at the hotel while Ko sat drinking. Her presence immediately caught his notice, while he called out to the women's. This eatery settled as Iris entered. The additional fighters whispered nervously, uncertain how to react around the dragonfolk, showing their esteem and slight dread. Ku urged this others to stand. He presented Iris as this one who saved them out of the black spider, acknowledging her bravery to the group. This rescued fighters bowed deeply, thanking Iris for risking the woman's life to protect them. She approved their gratitude using humility while composure. Koyu addressed everyone, telling them to listen while offering Iris one drink. The atmosphere changed as the fighters readied himself to celebrate and honor her contributions. During this celebration, Ko reminded everyone that Iris seemed equally heroic. She risked herself to allow this additional fighters to escape the black spider. Ko lifted one glass to honor the woman's courage. Iris held the woman's own drink, visibly preceded by this acknowledgement. The fighters cheered loudly, increasing their glasses in a collective toast, honoring Iris and Ku's combined efforts against the dangerous beast. Ku hoped this gesture would help Iris gradually gain acceptance among these fighters, showing that her bravery was appreciated and identified. Time passed, while 10 days later, life in the city continued. Ko reflected on this events, mentioning how the city while its people were becoming familiar to him. Ko reflected on life in Onin, mentioning he had adjusted to this city, while had been promoted from F rank to D rank instantly, surprising Milia. He readied for city quests, which needed finishing tasks and gathering materials. These quests permitted fighters to steadily improve their rank. Ku welcomed the hotel staff and was assigned his daily city mission, He came next instructions, though he was still adapting to the adventurer's effortless language. Inside this kitchen, Ko began preparing ingredients while being welcomed by familiar faces. He wore a unique apron forged from male lonely wolf's fur, with formidable cooking effects. Ko lived rapidly and efficiently, demonstrating master-level cooking and dexterity abilities. The additional fighters observed in wonder as he readied meals with remarkable hasten and precision. Ko readied lunch sandwiches for this shop manager as part of his city mission. His efficiency impressed everyone, while he received additional rewards for the man's work. Ko sampled this sandwich himself to ensure quality, mentioning he would share the recipe using his company. This shop owner praised the man's skill enthusiastically. His next city mission involved helping using this city wall expansion. Kosu observed that this wall had been demolished while needed full-scale reconstruction. This dwarf on-site supervisor assigned Ko specific tasks. Owing to the growing population, the wall needed reinforcement, and Ko was counted on to assist. Ko cleared construction debris efficiently, using the man's item box skill. Workers applauded his work as he demonstrated precision and power, finishing the job rapidly and effectively. After finishing this wall expansion, Ko headed to the dwarven workshops on the east side of the city. The man transported bricks efficiently using the man's abilities. The dwarves proposed Koku drinks, commending his work. He courteously declined, focusing on finishing the tasks assigned in his city mission for the day. Once the work was finished, Ko came back to the association to submit his outcomes. This rewards for his finished quests remained transferred to his account. Iris welcomed Koku at this association, asking if he was finished for the day. She recognized his hard work using one warm smile. Ko, while Iris discussed plans for later. Both suggested having dinner jointly, each expressing interest while trying not to appear too eager or forward. Ko came next Iris to one eatery for dinner. He resolved on beef rather than chicken, choosing a meal suggested by the manager at Silver Stag Eatery. They enjoyed this meal jointly, commending the flavors. Ko appreciated Iris's choice, while she voiced satisfaction that he liked this food. During dinner, they talked about why Ku arrived at this city. Both paused slightly, showing a silent, private side of themselves while sharing their experiences. Iris revealed her purpose. She was looking for the ruins of an old civilization under Anin, where an enormous subterranean city is said to be hidden. Long ago, one highly advanced magic civilization prospered across this continent, living without dread of demon beasts and developing vast cities powered by mysterious technology. Recent investigations revealed traces of that civilization near Anin, where the ruins of a big subterranean city were trusted to rest under the land. Inside a silent eatery, Ko listened as Iris described her search for evidence of the old civilization, sharing assembled files and historical documents about it. Ko reflected on stories of advanced civilizations, imagining forgotten superweapons concealed within ruins, while Iris acknowledged she still lacked this precise location of the site. Interested, Ko checked his mapping files and realized the subterranean city had not been properly recorded, prompting him to consider investigating the mysterious ruins further. Iris presented a specific map to Koyu, describing it showed the surrounding area, and suggesting they examine it jointly to confirm possible positions. Ko examined the map closely while Iris observed his reaction, noticing his abrupt silence as he closely assessed the terrain and markings. After reviewing this grid, Koei identified a marked point labeled as the entrance to subterranean city number 0, located within Cello Forest. Understanding they had eventually discovered the city's position, Ko paused slightly, questioning whether the details could truly be trusted without verification. Despite his concerns, both consented to investigate the site the next morning, preparing themselves to explore the concealed subterranean city inside Cello Forest. Ko and Iris arrived at Cello Forest, closely following the map's guidance as they searched for the rumored entrance to the subterranean city. Reaching a steep cliff encircled by trees, they found little abnormal at first glance, causing doubt about whether the marked location was accurate. Ko examined his gear, recalling he had forged formidable equipment from the Black Spider, including a gauntlet competent of learning magic. Resolved to investigate further, Ko hit the cliff wall and closely inspected its surface while Iris searched nearby for concealed mechanisms. Despite using improved power, the wall refused to move, but Ko observed a slight irregularity in the stone, suggesting a concealed structure behind it. Understanding brute power would not work, Iris suggested that Ko keep part of the cliff using his item box power to measure whether something was concealed behind it. Koyu activated his skill, and this enormous section of stone disappeared, showing a sealed metallic door embedded within the rock face. This surface of the door emitted faint warmth, leading Ko to suspect it was made from orichalcum, a rare metal famous in old legends. Iris recalled that orichalcum possessed exceptional anti-physical while anti-magical defenses, though this method to process it had long been lost. As they examined the door, unusual text reacted to Koi's presence. suggesting that entry needed a specific qualification rather than physical power. As Ko moved the door, a structure message activated, accepting him to subterranean city number 0, while announcing one status check to determine master rights. Before Ko could completely comprehend the meaning, a big spell circle formed behind them, and a declaration announced that a provisional trial would start. From the glowing formation emerged an orichalcum golem, an old humanoid armament clad in orichalcum protection and equipped with a formidable eye-mounted laser cannon. Despite this immense presence of the golem, Phil remained composed, analyzing its composition while it identified him as the goal and initiated elimination. Understanding the seriousness of the situation, Ko advanced carefully as Iris stood prepared beside him, both preparing to face the old guardian. Iris advanced and announced she would act as a decoy, gripping her armament firmly while urging Ko to withdraw from the nearing orichalcum golem. Recalling a past fight, Iris remembered that defeating a single orichalcum golem once needed 20 rank fighters, proving the immense danger they faced. Ko refused to withdraw, attracting his sword and positioning himself early of Iris, resolved to measure their risks before deciding whether escape was needed. Facing the advancing golem, Ko stated he would not abandon Iris to survive alone, preparing himself as the construct's eyes started to shine. The golem fired a formidable laser beam, driving Ko and Iris to leap aside as the blast tore through the earth where they had stood moments previous. Koku observed this destructive magic laser fired by the orichalcum golem, understanding that a direct hit would likely cause fatal harm. Analyzing this construct closely, Ko concluded that its eye was the only part not protected by orichalcum protection, making it the sole vulnerable point. Understanding this risk of the laser, Ko told Iris that if they could close the space, they might have one chance to win. Ko chose to act as the shield, intending to draw the golem's attacks while relying on Iris to disable its eye. With their roles resolved, Ko advanced with his sword lifted as Iris came next closely behind. Both traveled jointly to execute their tactic. Ko and Iris charged straight to the orichalcum golem, closing the space as the construct readied new shot from its glowing eye. This golem fired a concentrated magic laser, sending a destructive beam across the battlefield straight to the advancing pair. Ko entered early of Iris and lifted his black spider gauntlet, bracing himself as the laser hit his arm with explosive power. Instead of being shaken, Keiko endured this impact, the absorbed energy dispersing outward, while the golem continued its relentless assault. Activating this gauntlet's magic absorption effect, Ko steadily neutralized the laser's power, astonishing Iris as he readied himself to push forward through the attack. Assured that this gauntlet could withstand the assault, Ko advanced through the fading laser, locking his gaze onto the golem's exposed core. He deflected new blast at close range, learning the magic while pushing forward until he stood straight within remarkable space. Seizing this opening, Ko called for Iris to attack as the man forced the golems concentrate entirely onto himself. Iris leaped high into the air and drove her armament downward at maximum power, aiming precisely at the unprotected eye. Her strike shattered this golem's eye, sending fissures through its armored body as the old construct staggered under the decisive blow. As this damaged golem attempted to counterattack, Ko intercepted its strike, blocking the blow while preventing the object out of reaching Iris. Using this magical energy he had absorbed, Koyu activated Black Spider's Thread X and converted the stored power into binding threads. The reinforced threads wrapped firmly around the golem's body, restricting its actions and driving it off balance as it labored to break free, even restrained. This orichalcum golem roared while charged forward wildly, attempting one final desperate assault against Kuku. Met this attack head on and delivered one decisive strike, driving his sword into the weakened structure and cracking the golem's armored frame. Ku drove his sword deeper into this restrained orichalcum golem, shattering its internal structure as fissures spread rapidly across its armored body. The enormous construct staggered backward, sparks and fragments scattering before. Its action slowed and its power source started to shut down. As this golem collapsed while powered off completely, Iris carefully observed the silent battlefield, wondering if their desperate gamble had succeeded. Structure messages appeared before Kao, announcing increased powers, accumulated reality, successful subjugation of the orichalcum golem, and the granting of master rights to subterranean city number 0. Understanding he had become the subterranean city's owner, Ku faced the sealed door, preparing to eventually open the entrance with his newly granted authority. After the fight, Iris voiced sincere gratitude to Kou, acknowledging that his protection had permitted her to survive the dangerous encounter. Kuku countered modestly, admitting he was unable to have overcome the orichalcum golem alone, and recognizing that their coordination made them an effective team. Sharing a silent smile, Ku felt a awareness of faith forming between them as the unease from the fight eventually faded. Returning to the sealed entrance, a structure message verified magic pattern verification and welcomed Koku, as the identified master of the subterranean city. With authority granted, the enormous door opened, and Ko and Iris advanced jointly into subterranean city number 0. Ko reviews his abilities, showing item box while automatic collection powers. Iris observes the display closely and begins suspecting something abnormal about Ko2's origins and understanding. Iris explains one old dragon, folk legend about rare beings who appear out of distant lands. Ko hears softly, understanding the description sounds dangerously close to himself. This legend describes an unusual outsider possessing excessive abilities and unnatural talents. Ko understands this implication and acknowledges he is one transferer, requesting secrecy from Iris. As the group walk through this corridor, Iris grows more interested about Ko's homeland. The woman wonders whether the man's birthplace lies greater than their continent entirely. Ko hesitates internally, debating whether showing New Realm would cause amazement. He prevents information and describes his origin as this farthest place imaginable. Iris acknowledges she is unable to return to her hometown, showing her feelings align with Ko's situation. Ko says sorry for hiding this truth, but Iris states the woman already trusts him. The tunnel early starts to brighten, signaling the end of their underground road. Ko directs Iris to appearance forward as light grows mightier. Both shield their gaze from this abrupt glare. Without delay, Ko grabs Iris's hand and hurries to the exit. The group emerge onto one grassy hill under open sky. This underground passage is gone, replaced by one silent landscape stretching outward. Iris asks whether this is truly under this city. Ko observes this terrain while concludes this unusual place can hardly be called underground anymore. Ko and Iris advance closely through tall grass, arms lifted as rustling sounds echo nearby. Both prepare for one possible attack out of one unseen creature. One round slime abruptly leaps out, crying loudly while flailing in panic. It insists it remains not one bad beast while trembling before them. Ko while Iris freeze in confusion as this slime adds shouting. This creature claims it is not even one beast, surprising them further. Ko's skill recognizes it as assistant slime, a magical being created by an old civilization to manage the subterranean city and assist its master. Understanding it shows no hostility, Ko lowers the man's defense. This slime introduces itself courteously as one of the helper slimes serving Kuku. Asks this slime's use of "we" only to discover numerous more emerging from the grass. This helper slimes eagerly explain they were created solely to serve their master and have remained thousands of decades. Dozens of slimes collect before Ko while Iris, bowing jointly and pleading to be taken care of. Their unified request overwhelms this silent hillside. Ko hesitantly accepts their loyalty. One slime approaches happily while Ko softly rubs its surface, causing it to wiggle with delight while Iris observes. Iris clasps the woman's hands, charmed by this adorable beings. The woman's look softens as the woman admires their innocent appearance. Bashful by her reaction, Iris attempts to compose herself. Ko notices while teases her softly, recognizing the woman's fondness for cute beings. The helper slime suggests transforming the grassland into a true city, reminding Ko that this area was initially underground and can be restored if needed. Abruptly, Ko's status window uses, announcing concealed conditions were fulfilled. His creation skill expands, and Full Assist establishes a link to this subterranean city's mainframe. Ko processes the details while Iris observes, encircled by slimes. The man realizes new functions have been unlocked under specific conditions tied to this location. Understanding the upgrade, Ko raises his hand and prepares to measure the improved creation power. The man chooses to construct something nearby to confirm its power. One glowing sphere forms early as Ko channels the man's skill. Iris steps back closely, holding a slime while observing this beginning of their city's construction. Ko releases his creation skill, and one total house rises instantly from this grassland. This abrupt structure shocks Iris while the surrounding helper slimes. Iris stares with amazement while holding a slime. Ko remains focused, understanding the scale of what he has just constructed without work. Structure messages explain that excess magical power converts into building materials. New functions allow materials to accumulate automatically while be used for structural construction. This slimes question Ko's method, suggesting true directives are needed for city development. Ko laughs lightly, treating this process like one simulation game. Further notices reveal specialized building functions, trigger only under certain titles. Ko understands he remains one distinct case, relying on Full Assist to compensate. Ko while Iris return momentarily to Anand, promising this helper slimes they will come back. This slimes collect at the entrance, watching their master leave using hope. After they depart, the slimes softly speculate that creation is a divine skill, granted only to those recognized by greater authority. Encircled by the slimes again, Ko considers on the versatility of creation, understanding it can produce arms, protection, potions, furniture, and far more than easy houses. This helper slimes express joy, believing Koku would construct one magnificent city. However, they remind him this subterranean city remains incomplete. Ko decides this project must wait. He regards reporting the old functioning civilization to the association, recognizing its immense archaeological and political significance. Ko and Iris visit this association, asking for Mia, but discover she left for an emergency meeting. Ko regrets not bringing assistant slime to show proof. Won's substitute receptionist explains Melia remains acting as proxy branch travel. Ko states he has an important matter to submit instead of making one message. Kaku explains they discovered a functioning subterranean city from an old civilization. The receptionist freezes with shock as Iris adds that the ruins under Anin are still operational. The receptionist chooses to consult a superior and asks them to wait calmly in the reception office. While waiting, while Iris discover one royal capital scholar is staying nearby. They sit jointly sharing lunch as the group prepare for this coming discussion. While waiting in this reception office, while Iris proceeds sharing lunch. Iris jokingly advises Ko about his eating, and Ko chooses to try new meal. Iris acknowledges she enjoys cooking during the woman's free time while usually eats alone. Ko praises her skill while Iris softly appreciates having someone acknowledge her work. Ko considers on discovering new sides of Iris. Recognizing her fondness for cute things while her talent in this kitchen soon, the group realize someone holds arrived. Won hurried presence approaches this room, naming out while catching breath. Ko and Iris turn to the entrance with surprise. This scholar out of the royal capital appears, younger than anticipated, adjusting glasses. This scholar says sorry formally for maintaining them waiting. This scholar introduces himself as Leric de Hubert, the third son of one dukedom and one archaeologist. Kari reflexively prepares to bow, but Leric rapidly comforts him that ceremony is unnecessary and asks to be viewed as an equal. Leric acknowledges he remains technically one noble yet dislikes rigid etiquette. Excessive politeness makes him uncomfortable, so he urges Kyuju while Iris to speak easily and explain their discovery straight. Unable to contain his enthusiasm, Leric leans forward with shining gaze while clenched fists. His composure breaks as he eagerly demands every detail about this functioning subterranean city they uncovered. Kaoyu, Lyria, and the young warrior discover an enormous underground door concealed within old stone ruins. Kao studies its surface while Lyria senses formidable magic streaming through the object. Greater than this entrance, they find one gigantic structure made of orichalcum. Its brilliance shocks them. Ku verifies this magic pattern, while the three touch the surface jointly. Light surrounds them as this structure uses. One voice welcomes Ku as master, while capacity shifts instantly. The group arrive inside one furnished room, Ku created through alchemy. Lyria recalls the man overcame one orichalcum golem alone. Stepping outside, Ku feels grass and breeze, understanding they are not anymore underground. Ku excitedly files notes about this underground discovery, believing it would transform historical research. As he writes, one minor slime abruptly appears and greets him cheerfully. The slime introduces itself as an assistant slime. Ko is surprised by its existence, nearly dropping his notebook with shock. This young warrior explains that helper slimes are old magical beings. Kuto acknowledges he once thought the group remained fictional beings. Kuto notices one well-built house nearby, while wonders if this slime constructed it. The man studies this structure using curiosity. This slime denies building the object, while explains that Ku created everything instantly. The warrior states Kao holds authority over the subterranean city and can develop it freely. Ko gratefully praises this young warrior for respecting the ruins instead of exploiting them. The warrior explains he came back to make a true submit and prevent misuse. Ko invites him to ask anything about this subterranean city. This group moves inside the house to proceed their discussion comfortably. Inside, this warrior observes the familiar layout, comparing it to one home out of Japan. Ko removes his shoes, describing old customs needed it indoors. This warrior wonders if this realm might be Earth far in the later. He considers on being called one transferer and asks his assumptions. Ko begins describing the old civilization that flourished thousands of decades ago in this realm. Ko explains that this old civilization possessed highly advanced magic technology and may have reached additional stars. Their achievements made the sky seem like no limit at all. The man describes flying mechanical constructs, while devices that permitted instant communication. Numerous modern magic tools were excavated out of their ruins while reproduced. The warrior realizes this society looks like his previous realm, unless magic replaced science as the foundation of development and progress. Ku states that despite their greatness, this civilization seemed abruptly destroyed. Their advanced magic technologies remained lost, while their magnificence disappeared completely. When wondered whether war caused their fall, Ku acknowledges recent investigations provide no clear information about why they ultimately perished. Ku explains that this old files describe a mysterious entity called the Calamity. He believes this beast seemed likely responsible for destroying this advanced civilization. Laria recalls legends saying dragonfolk while humanity once united to oppose this calamity. This warrior feels uneasy, wondering if his transfer remains connected to the object. Ku states that after rampaging across this realm, the calamity eventually fell inside slumber somewhere unknown. This dragonfolk suffered devastating losses during that final fight. Ku notes that monsters have grown increasingly active across this continent within the last 6 months. The man fears this may signal this calamity's awakening. Laria reports abnormal outbreaks, including thousands of wolves and formidable beings appearing near Anin, far greater than ordinary patterns. This warrior considers that despite their advanced magic, the old civilization still collapsed. He acknowledges he never expected this calamity could awaken again in this era. As the mood grows tense, the assistant slime abruptly appears carrying trays of tea and snacks trying to lighten the atmosphere. Ku and his others collect around the table while the slime cheerfully offers them any they like. This serious discussion pauses momentarily. This warrior tastes the food closely, astonished by its quality. Lyria also enjoys this meal, while Ku observes their reactions with satisfaction. After finishing, this plates remain empty. The warrior softly acknowledges the meal was excellent, easing the unease inside the subterranean city. After finishing this meal, the warrior asks Ko where the man obtained the ingredients while tableware. Ko easily wonders if the man might gain burden living there daily. The assistant slime explains that helper slimes possess an item box linked straight to their physiques. It proudly claims to keep numerous helpful supplies inside. This slime stretches part of its body forward, shocking Ku, Lyria. While the warrior they stare with amazement at the surprising power. To show further, this slime draws out a rocking chair from its body. The object presents this furniture proudly, enjoying their surprised reactions. The warrior realizes the tea and pancakes they enjoyed were taken straight from the slime's internal holding, making him momentarily silent. This warrior asks what Kuyu intends to do next. Ku shifts this discussion back to the calamity while says he has one proposal. The man asks whether this warrior would like to build something jointly. Ko explains his first goal remains archaeological research, while the man's second is preparing for possible later threats. He believes true development remains needed. Based on recent beast activity, Ko suspects something abnormal may soon happen beside Anin. If disaster strikes, this subterranean city could serve as a secure evacuation center. This warrior regards the idea closely. He acknowledges that building and developing this city sounds interesting in hands. And agreeing with Ko's reasoning, he decides they should start immediately while measure their plan. Ko explains that after staying in this area for 30 minutes, the man's stock of building materials holds reached 8,000. He chooses to attempt constructing everything immediately, instead of separately. He converts a big portion of materials into a single residential area blueprint, preparing this needed resources in one command. One glowing sphere floats inside this air before them. Ko calls it one construction egg and tells this others to watch closely. This sphere uses, while buildings rapidly rise across the open land. Houses, streets, while structures appear in organized rows within moments. When the light fades, a total city waits before them, completely formed and prepared for habitation. The warrior and Lyria stare at the newly formed city with amazement. This warrior praises Ko's power, while Lyria declares the man's power feels almost divine. Ko modestly attributes the man's skill but smiles proudly. Lyria considers that such immense capability must come out of someone transferred between worlds. She insists that even knowing about the man's cheat skill, this result yet surpasses expectations. Ko throws his arms into this air while expresses gratitude them loudly for the praise. The warrior asks whether he can inspect the city more closely. As they start heading, the assistant slime bounces over, reporting that numerous houses have been created. One group of helper slimes volunteer to furnish this interiors, promising to handle everything efficiently, with residential zones, farmland, and one trade district established. This new city is finished. Ko chooses to name the object after Anin. Helper slimes immediately start cooking, harvesting, while preparing goods to assistants' daily life. This warrior and Lyria walk through the streets, impressed that the area was empty grassland only 2 hours previous. The group struggle to believe such rapid development remains possible. The warrior considers on Ko's creation skill and senses its vast concealed promise. He wonders how far this power could reshape this realm. Ko excitedly declares this discovery invaluable for archaeology while mentions informing the king. Bashful, Koyu explains he truly holds an academic degree, surprising both companions. Koyu introduces himself properly as Lyrich de Hybert, one laboratory professor of archaeology. He laughs awkwardly while admitting the man possessed not shared the man's full background before. Lyrich explains the man plans to announce one new wave of magic tools next month, including improved city lamps, kitchens, stoves, while showers. This warrior acknowledges that Lyrich is genuinely one competent and admirable person. Bashful by this praise, Lyrich asks them to treat him the same as before, confessing he tends to feel lonely despite the man's achievements. The warrior agrees, saying they should proceed, working jointly, and build a good relationship hereafter. Lyria supports this idea abruptly. The earth starts to shake violently under their feet. The violent tremor intensifies, and the warrior shouts in alarm as the earth adds shaking under them. Dread spreads across the man's face as the man struggles to stay balanced. Lyrich loses his footing and cries out, while Lyria reaches to this warrior for assistance. This abrupt quake throws all three inside confusion. They collide jointly while barely manage to consistent themselves. Dust falls around them as the rumbling eventually starts to fade. Regaining composure, the warrior asks whether it was an earthquake. Lyric adjusts his glasses, mentioning this shaking seemed brief, but unsettling. Assistant Slime hurries to them in panic, urgently warning that something terrible has happened, and pleading for them to come next immediately. Lyria and Lyrich come next, the panicked Assistant Slime at full hasten. Their expressions turn serious, as they awareness immense magic early. When the group arrive at this edge of the city, the warrior advances carefully, unable to hide his alarm. After this earthquake, Ku and Iris discover a towering black structure emerging from the earth. A glowing triangular spell circle shines at its base, resembling this pattern used by the Orichalcum Golem. As they approach, abrupt power draws Ku forward. Iris reacts with shock, while a scholar nearby concludes that the phenomenon is likely transfer magic activating suddenly. While Iris face this radiant circle again, Iris hesitates but refuses to withdraw, believing they is unable to abandon their companion inside this structure. Resolved, Ko advances and reaches to the magic formation. Both are engulfed by light while drawn inside this dark tower. Inside one sealed chamber, they reunite using this scholar. Ko observes a map-like device. Understanding there is only one road early, Ko while Iris reunite using Lyrich inside this chamber. Lyrich expresses ease, shaken that they came after him and worried for their well-being. While the group recover, one faint clacking sound echoes through this corridor. Ku immediately becomes alert, sensing motion nearing from this darkness. Ku draws the man's sword while orders Lyrich to stay behind him. Iris readies her armament as they prepare for one possible beast attack. Instead of a threat, a minor slime wearing glasses appears and loudly denies being a beast, shocking this group. This slime courteously introduces itself as Glasses Slime, a helper variant, and politely addresses Ko as its master. Glasses Slime leads Ko, Iris, and Lyrich through a long corridor, describing that they have reached the deepest territory of the subterranean city. The slime explains that this concealed area is used to monitor the Dark Dragon, describing it as one of several calamities sealed below. Ko pauses and closely processes the details, understanding this is only the first verified calamity within the ruins. Glasses Slime acknowledges they is unable to confirm precise numbers, but warns that multiple calamities may exist, possibly more than 2 or 3. The revelation unsettles the group, as Koyu and Iris comprehend the subterranean city hides hazards, far larger than anticipated. Glasses Slime faces Ko, while explains that this details is crucial. The object understands their shock, but insists the group must listen closely. The slime explains that the area constantly maintains the seal on the Dark Dragon. However, if specific unique conditions remain fulfilled, this seal will eventually be undone. Ku, Iris, while Lyrich stand frozen in this corridor. Lyrich asks whether that means the Dark Dragon could be resurrected if those conditions are met. This confirmation foliage the group silent. The burden of the subterranean city's true purpose settles heavily on them. Ku recalls that the Dark Dragon once destroyed an old civilization, understanding the same catastrophe could happen again. Ko considers quietly, understanding his peaceful Isekai life has changed into a crisis that feels like facing a final boss, far sooner than anticipated. Glasses Slime explains that the Dark Dragon rests within a great mountain in the northern Phaedos range, and may awaken in less than 10 days. The group absorbs the urgency as the slime proposes altering positions and begins describing more information about the dragon's condition. They begin one sealed chamber where an unusual orb rests on a pedestal. Glasses Slime urges Ko to touch the object, showing the object recreates images. When Ko uses this device, one vast city projection appears. One message declares this lock released while revival initiated from this point. The device projects old files from 4,000 decades ago, showing one of the great cities that existed before the catastrophe. The image shifts to an enormous dark dragon descending from the sky, its presence immense and destructive. This dragon gathers immense energy in its jaws and releases a devastating blast to the city below. Remarkable without mercy. Flames while shockwaves consume these streets as buildings collapse and people remain swallowed by the explosion. From a distant view, the dragon observes as the entire city is reduced to ruins, making little but smoke and shattered land behind. The projection finishes in a blinding flash, and Ko stares with shock, understanding the destruction he witnessed was real history, not exaggeration. Glasses Slime explains that the dark dragon alone caused hundreds of casualties within seconds, proving it is a disaster greater than ordinary understanding. Iris compares this dragon to one natural catastrophe, while Ku acknowledges he has never faced a threat of that magnitude before. This chamber falls silent as Ku struggles to process the scale of danger awaiting them in the northern highlands. Lerich urgently proposes evacuating everyone in Anin to the subterranean city before the dark dragon awakens. Ku steadies himself while accepts this reality of the situation, understanding that hesitation would only waste the little time they have left. Glasses Slime explains that they likely have 3 days before the dark dragon reawakens, turning the evacuation into a race against time. Using transfer magic, Glasses Slime manuals Kao and Iris back to Anin from the subterranean city without delay. Inside the association hall, unease fills the air as fighters collect, sensing that something serious is unfolding. Ku and Iris return and are immediately welcomed by the staff, who await their submit about the subterranean city. Lerich states that the underground structure undeniably belonged to an old civilization, reinforcing the truth of the files they witnessed below. As Ku prepares to explain further, one association member interrupts, stating that, although this discovery is historic, urgent matters prevent any celebration. She reports that the Phaetos Highlands in the north have started showing signs of an enormous beast stampede. Specific observations reveal unusually high concentrations of magicules, indicating that within hours, thousands of monsters may surge outward. This association estimates nearly 50,000 monsters could attack Anin within 3 days, driving Kao and Iris to face immediate large-scale disaster. The association explains that the feudal lord is unable to provide assistance because his soldiers were wiped out by a previous stampede 3 months previous. With only the Mercenary Association and Fighters Guild remaining, defending Anin against 50,000 monsters will be extremely challenging. The association member asks Ku whether the subterranean city could serve as a refuge, and requests his honest judgment. After thinking closely, Ku assuredly assures everyone that there are no problems with using the subterranean city for evacuation. That night, Ku, Iris, and Lerich appearance over the points of Anin, understanding that the city's survival now depends on rapid move. Zitan Bardan, branch travel of Anin's Fighters Association, meets Koku and remarks on how extraordinary his achievements have been. Koku formally requests permission to use the subterranean city as a refuge, describing that it can accommodate everyone from Anin. Zitan expresses sincere gratitude, relieved that one solution exists, while Ku states that preparing for evacuation seemed always the man's intention. Iris assuredly promises they will ensure the townspeople are evacuated securely, strengthening the resolve of those offer. As the discussion settles, Ku prepares to reveal the truth about the Dark Dragon, knowing the leaders must comprehend the full threat early. As Ku prepares to proceed describing this situation, Glasses Slime urgently calls out to him, interrupting his attempt to speak calmly. Glasses Slime rushes forward in distress, insisting that this situation is becoming more serious, while demanding that everyone listen closely. Koyu attempts to peaceful the slime and asks for a clear explanation, sensing that something greater than the intended evacuation is happening. Glasses Slime states that a stampede has formed greater than the Phaetos Highlands, and implies that the magical activity is abnormal. This group learns that before any major stampede, big quantities of magicules collect, and those energy levels are now rapidly increasing. Glasses Slime concludes that the Dark Dragon may awaken previous than anticipated, driving Ku to reconsider their entire tactic. The group waits surprised before an enormous projected image showing a dark dragon awakening amid an explosive landscape, signaling a catastrophic threat near their homeland. Unease rises as panic spreads. Alan states this stampede alone seemed disastrous. Meryl realizes this dragon-possessed been lurking dangerously close to their city all along. Koku analyzes the crisis, mentioning the stampede and dark dragon might launch a joint assault. Despite early motion, the man believes the group have time until morning. Alan chooses to return to Anin to prepare for evacuation. Kao, while the man's companions insist on joining, unwilling to be left behind before making. This slime companion halts Kao. It requests he stay, suggesting there is a location he must see first, possibly holding vital details or tactic. Ku and the slime locate an old vault concealed deep within the territory, said to hold relics left behind by people from 4,000 decades ago. This slime explains that 3 doors represent paths for one hero, a sage, or a demon king. Only one may be selected depending on Koku's form. Ku hesitates, uncertain where the man fits. He acknowledges he is neither hero, sage, nor monarch, making both him and the slime uncertain. A structure message declares a status check total, with all 3 doors reacting quietly as cuzzled before them. Suddenly, one concealed requirement is met. All doors open simultaneously, triggered by Koku's distinct power creation granting him full access to the old legacy. All 3 doors unlock immediately. Ko rushes forward, the slime following close behind, astonished by the abrupt development, and what might lie greater than. Ko calmly enters the vault and chooses to start from the leftmost chamber, trying to comprehend the mysterious situation step by step. Inside, one lone sword floats at the center of the room, emanating faint magical energy as Ko slowly approaches its pedestal. This slime recognizes the relic as the Dragon Slayer's magic sword. Ko realizes it's broken, yet gives off immense power. Once wielded in the old fight against the Dark Dragon, the sword was shattered. Ko, not one hero, acknowledges its legacy but foliage the object untouched. Ko reaches out and collects the shattered Dragon Slayer's sword without delay, resolved to measure the promise of his creation power. As he inspects this sword, one realization dawns. With peaceful confidence, Ko begins analyzing how this sword's restoration method works through his skill. Using focused motion, Ko uses the man's creation skill. This shattered sword reassembles in one flash of light, reforged into its legendary form. The Dragon Slayer's magic sword. Graham the slime is shaken, shouting with amazement. Ko explains simply it was possible owing to his creation power. No hero status needed. By storing the broken parts in his item box, Ko discovered the recipe and restored Graham, unlocking a formidable armament with divine blessings and battle-ready enhancements. This reforged sword, now glowing with divine power, possesses distinct effects, self-repair, lethal strikes, and enhancements to both Koyu and the weapon's powers. Holding Graham in wonder, Ko wonders if he now holds the power to face the Dark Dragon straight, appearing assured initially. Wasting no time, Ko and the slime companion rush to investigate the next room, interested about what additional old tools lie early. Koku gasps with shock as he lays gaze on the next artifact, plainly unprepared for what he's about to observe. Inside, they discover an enormous 6-legged artillery walker, an old war machine competent of enormous destruction, waiting quietly to be reactivated. Ko examines this enormous armament. This slime explains it's an ultra-high, output magic railgun competent of annihilating big groups, ideal for handling stampedes. Ko regards its scale. This slime doubts it can be preceded, stating only one Demon Lord's item box could hold something that enormous. Suddenly, Kotsuyu's item box qualifies. Owing to his abnormal existence, its holding room nears infinity, making transport entirely possible without assistance. Activating creation once more, Kao smiles while designing something new. The slime grows worried, uncertain what he's intending to build next. One towering golem forms armored in orichalcum, while armed using multiple laser systems. This destroyer golem greets Ko as its master, prepared for deployment. Ko greets this golem, receiving one handshake in return. This slime remarks that its smooth behavior comes out of its high-level processing capabilities. This golem promises to respond during later stampedes. The object even acknowledges this slime formally, amusing everyone using its polite mannerisms. Ko decides it's time to move on to this next room. This slime struggles to keep up using the fast-paced discoveries while reactions. The group find one big shattered black shield. Its old texture suggests importance and one history of destructive fight. The slime recognizes it as the dragon god's shield broken by the dark dragon long ago. Ko prepares to attempt new repair, assured in the man's creation skill. Ko attempts to repair the dragon god's shield but disappoints. This slime is stunned, while Ko calmly regards what enhancement might be missing. The group theorize the object might be one material issue. Despite Ko's skill, something necessary appears to be missing to total this restoration. This slime nervously recalls one possible missing component, though uncertain. It hesitantly begins describing a rare item's legend. This missing piece is revealed. The dragon god's ruby, said to exist once every 1,000 decades in the dragonfolk nation, far greater than their current reach. Though unable to fix this shield, Ko is pleased using what he gained. This slime expresses gratitude, him genuinely, as they stand before the now silent doors. Before parting, this slime wriggles forward and offers Kochu one final gift, placing a glowing charm onto his hand with a hopeful look. Ko observes curiously as this warmth spreads through his hand, astonished by the sensation left behind by the mysterious blessing. This slime explains it's one good luck charm if Ko faces danger. A spirit will appear and assist him in the moment he needs it. Ko accepts this gift gratefully, but wonders aloud what one spirit truly is, uncertain of the concept, despite its importance. One gentle answer follows: spirits are born from emotions, invisible protectors who softly watch over those they connect using, never asking for recognition. Ko and Iris sit in one silent room, as Ko asks about the city's current state. Outside, this peaceful night contrasts, using the unease of looming threats. Iris assures him this evacuation remains progressing well, expresses gratitude to the association staff's calming and persuasive abilities. No panic has broken out among the people. Ko shares what he retrieved from the vault supplies he believes will be vital in the fight against the dark dragon threatening their realm. As the man finishes, Iris grows serious. She confesses there is something she hasn't yet revealed about the woman's reasons for joining this old ruins investigation. With resolve, Iris acknowledges she left this dragonfolk nation in search of one long-lost treasure, the dragon god's shield, a relic of great importance to her people. Iris explains this dragon god's shield was lost in a fight 4,000 decades ago. Ko realizes it's already in the man's possession, while offers to return the object. As the man prepares to use creation, Iris urgently stops him, knowing something critical must be addressed first, before restoration is able to succeed. Ko says restoring it isn't possible yet. He's missing this dragon god's ruby, one material only the dragonfolk remain said to possess. Surprising him, Iris explains the ruby and softly places it in his hands, knowing it's the key to finishing the legendary shield. Iris informs him of a dragonfolk belief that if a transferer wields this shield, they must receive the ruby's grace. Ko remains selected to fulfill that prophecy. Ko and Iris discuss the city's status in one peaceful room, as Iris explains the guild's role in maintaining order during the evacuation. After sharing vault findings, Ko hears as Iris eventually explains her concealed motive, her mission for the long-lost dragon god's shield. Iris explains this shield was lost in a fight 4,000 decades ago, and Ko surprises her by claiming he might already have it. Iris stops Ko from activating this shield, describing that he needs the dragon god's ruby, which she suddenly provides. Ko accepts this ruby, appearing its warmth. As Iris explains, it's his duty as a transfer to restore the old shield. Ko uses the shield using the ruby, properly restoring the dragon god's shield, which emits formidable energy and old blessings. Based on Dragonkin legends, a girl with this dragon god's shrine maiden skill appears only once every few centuries, destined for 2 sacred missions. Iris became this first to succeed, locating the dragon god's shield and securely delivering the ruby to the one famous as the transferer. While investigating one sealed temple, all this doors mysteriously opened for Alan, though only one should have. Iris held this precise item he needed. He started to suspect something unseen was guiding every moment, as if his road had already been carved out by someone else. At this Silent Moon hotel, Alan reported to Association Master Zeton. Ordered to rest, the man reflected softly, seemed this destiny, or something more deliberate? Ko lay restless in bed, mind-racing using mind of this impending threat. He sensed this peaceful was temporary. One fragile silence before chaos. Bone knock interrupted the man's mind. At this door stood Letitia, peaceful yet urgent. She asked momentarily of his time, gaze heavy with purpose. Inside, Letitia described this matter seemed too important to delay. This situation involved one imminent danger. Only Ko and Iris could confront straight. Letitia verified the reports if the dark dragon awakened. Only Ko and Iris could face it. Ko recognized this grim reality. Ko outlined this plan. While Iris held this front, the others would protect the city. He retrieved something crucial out of this vault. Letitia reached for Ko's hand, warning him of this danger early. Without one word, the woman gave him a mysterious object. He agreed while approved it. Ko examined this item. It was a ring inscribed with an old phrase, naming him to empty his vessel should he face this dragon. Letitia described it seemed this ring of the spirits. Ko, able to read its script through a skill, attempted to comprehend its cryptic message. She revealed this ring seemed entrusted to her by one relative's grandfather, meant for the one destined to fight the dragon. This ring reacted. Ko unlocked one new skill. Material transmutation. One connection using this ring had been established. Everything seemed falling inside place. Letitia worried Ko seemed cursed, but he assured her he had simply gained one skill. The woman's concern changed to curiosity. This ring fit Ko completely. Letitia realized he seemed truly this one the object was meant for. Abilities weren't born, the group remained awakened. Letitia acknowledged this ring was her reason for joining the association. The woman felt relieved seeing the object in this right hands. Ko worried the woman might leave, but Letitia laughed. The woman looked forward to witnessing this great feat she'd achieve. Using the ring. Using mutual faith, the group smiled. Letitia trusted in Ko completely. If anyone was able to survive this coming storm, it seemed him. Letitia yawned first, came next by Ko. Their exhaustion became mutual. This long night of discussion had softly drawn to one close. Standing up, Letitia thanked him. The woman would rest currently, trusting him to carry on tomorrow. Ko wished the woman's one good night. At dawn, Ko sat on his bed, thinking about this skill the man possessed received. One new day had started using purpose. Material transmutation permitted him to refine lower materials. Using 100 lonely wolf furs, the man created one rare Finra fur. Using 20 Finra furs, unlocked one gear recipe. Clothing made out of it could receive this blessing of the god of hasten. Ko donned this Fenrir coat, now completely readied. With everything set, he committed to giving his all in this fight early. They arrived in the subterranean city, a vast settlement concealed below. This sight impressed the newcomers as the group took in its scale. This residence welcomed them kindly, cheering while preparing festivities. Despite this circumstances, the energy of the city seemed vibrant while alive. Ko stood before the assembled group, prepared to address them. A peaceful breath and a silent cough settled his unease. He presented himself as the master of the subterranean city and an adventurer. Ko, too, instructed this guest using organized hospitality while pride. Among the group, someone identified Kautu as the Bear Killer. He verified the title, though his tone remained modest. This people shared stories of his past kindness gardening, helping using tasks, admiring him, not just for power but for his character. Ko observed the numerous cheerful faces, though the notice bashful him. Their warmth provided him comfort and reassurance. Abruptly, Leticia hurried through the group, naming for him with urgency in her voice. Ko immediately faced the woman's. She carried troubling news. Monsters were emerging from this Phaetos highlands. This stampede, they worried, seemed already beginning. With the evacuation only baffling Leticia total. Leticia flourished, worried. Iris wondered if this city's residents could be completely cleared in time. Ko realized this harsh truth: the group remained running out of time. At this current pace, the city wouldn't be prepared. Leticia, despite hesitation, requested the group start this counter-Jan strike. She knew Kawu while Iris were this only ones competent of delaying the threat. Iris approved this job with confidence, supported by Kawu's agreement. They assured Leticia not to worry while readied for move. Without wasting a moment, Ku and Iris headed out jointly, prepared to face this advancing horde. This fight had started. Ku while Iris reached this plains at dawn, using this Phaetos highlands behind them. This was the last line before Anan. Ku verified this would be their battlefield. They were positioned completely between this mountain pass while the city. Iris worried about this lack of cover, but Ku remained assured. He possessed something surprising readied. Activating his skill, Ko summoned one enormous battle robot. Iris seemed surprised. Ko smirked. The object seemed meant to be destroyed anyway. Using humor while readiness, Ko gave this command. The robot, completely aware, detected the incoming stampede and readied for fight. The robot's gaze lit up as it completely activated, arms deploying in readiness for the fight early. Kutu, while Iris observed as their companion saluted using dramatic energy. This robot proudly announced its readiness to serve. From this horizon, one enormous horde of monsters surged forward. This stampede possessed eventually arrived. Ku readied the man's sword while Iris lifted the woman's shield. Both stood firm, completely committed to this fight. This robot charged its Ultra Dan High Dan output magic railgun. With all units readied, the front line was set. Fight was about to start. At Ko's command, this robot unleashed its full power. One brilliant energy beam tore across this battlefield, cutting through the enemy horde. This blast hit its mark with one deafening explosion, shaking the earth. Dust and smoke burst, signaling this beginning of a fierce and decisive fight. This golem unleashed one devastating energy blast, shaking the battlefield. Iris observed with shock, shaken by the sheer destructive power displayed before her gaze. Smoke rose out of this scorched earth. Iris Ko, while this golem observed quietly. Ko's power seemed sufficient to wipe out entire civilizations, if completely unleashed. Ko reflected on the man's level while status growth. Now at level 71, he wondered whether defeating enemies through this golem still granted him reality. Using this area secure, the golem began its cleanup process. Ko and Iris stood prepared, awaiting this next move as smoke remained. Ko gave this signal. Iris agreed, charging left while the man proceeded right. Their synchronized attack began as this golem advanced behind them. Iris proposed one friendly competition. Keichu approved, cheerful, agreeing that the loser would treat the winner to dinner after the fight ended. This fight began. Keichu and Iris charged forward from opposite sides, while this golem opened heavy fire, clearing a road through the enemy levels. Ku saw this as the perfect moment to measure his new equipment, the Fenrir coat, which he suspected held formidable enhancements waiting to be revealed. Activating Grace of Swiftness X, Ko's actions accelerated greater than ordinary restrictions, his form cutting through the air with incredible hasten and agility. As monsters closed in, Ko observed this realm slowing down. This coat's power altered his perception, permitting him to move freely through slowed time. Ku charged forward with precision, sword lifted high. His abrupt appearance surprised the beast, giving him the perfect opening for a neat strike. With quick hasten, Ku's attack tore through this spider's body. Multiple enemies surrounded him, but he held his earth without delay. The man shouted while advanced again. New spider jumped at him, but Ko swiftly intercepted the object midair, showing no signs of slowing down. He rushed between two big spiders, dodging their claws as he readied new consecutive attack without breaking speed, catching the man's breath. Ku assessed this Fenrir coat's activation. This burst acceleration lasted 2 seconds, but consumed one significant quantity of MP each time. Ko computed the man's MP recovery rate while preparing for this next attack. The man noted this need to use grace of swiftness, X more carefully to conserve energy. One giant spider loomed before him. Ko stood his earth, closely watching its motion, as the beast screeched and readied himself to lunge. He activated Graham's effect and released God of Wars/Fae. Ko hit forward with one fierce, glowing arc of power, cutting through this air. The spider's look turned in panic as the quick wave made contact, splitting through its armored body with immense power. This attack landed cleanly. One deep gash tore across this monster's back, stopping the confrontation in a single decisive blow. Kosi's level rose to 72, with increased stats and formidable abilities. He noted that more magic infused into God of War's Sever expanded its range and power. Preparing for one full power measure, Kosu lifted Graham. But as the sword trembled in his hand, he sensed something surprising activating within the armament. Abruptly, a structure alert verified the Dark Dragon's resurrection. In response, Dragon Slayer S-Fae automatically triggered, signaling one new threat had came back to this battlefield. Understanding the scale of what's coming, Ko recognized that this was only the beginning. The true fight had now started in earnest. Elsewhere, Iris stood encircled by wolves, shield lifted and lance prepared. Her posture showed she was readied himself to hold her earth, no matter what. Iris activated Dragon God's Barrier X just in time, blocking this wolf's fierce assault. Their claws scraped against this glowing shield, failing to break through. With a formidable shout, she counterattacked, remarkable back with her lance, and sending one of the beasts flying across the field. Despite the woman's efforts, more wolves surrounded the woman she prepared behind the woman's shield. Understanding their numbers showed no sign of decreasing. Encircled and under pressure, Iris stood firm at this center, deflecting incoming attacks and remarkable whenever one opening appeared. Abruptly, someone landed beside the woman's. Iris looked up with surprise as surprising assistance arrived, altering the tide of the fight. Ko appeared beside Iris, while easily apologized for stealing the woman's prey. Iris was astonished his motion had been so fast she hadn't observed a thing. With one serious tone, Ko cautioned her of one incoming threat. The Dark Dragon had awakened, and its approach meant immediate danger. Just afterward, their companion hurried in, naming for Kos. Iris turned rapidly. Understanding the urgency in their voice meant something major was coming. Volunteering to handle the remaining enemies, the ally urged Ko to concentrate on the Dark Dragon instead. Iris shouted encouragement as Ko readied himself to move. Ko thanked them, mentioning this dragon was last seen in the Phatos Highlands. He while Iris shared one moment, lighthearted before facing this coming threat. Ko examined the map, confirming the Dark Dragon had appeared near the Phatos Highlands. This marker's position left no room for doubt. Without delay, Iris consented to go. The two chose to travel straight for the location, knowing they had no time to waste. As they neared, an enormous black sphere loomed between the highlands. Its ominous presence caught both of them off defense. Lightning crackled while this earth rumbled. Iris and Ku gazed with shock as the orb pulsed with unstable energy, preparing to unleash something formidable. Ku observed closely, comparing this sphere to one egg on the verge of hatching, signaling that something old and dangerous was about to awaken. Fissures rapidly formed across this surface of the black sphere. With a burst of energy and blinding light, this shell started to break open. The Dark Dragon emerged, towering and fierce, despite being in a weakened state. Its roar echoed as the object stretched its wings across this highlands. Ku identified the creature. This was the Dark Dragon of Extinction, a legendary calamity competent of reducing civilizations to ash with fire and curses. This dragon's second roar thundered through the air. Its eye opened with menace, unleashing pressure that shook this earth while pierced the skies. Iris steadied herself while Kutra protected the woman's. Though shaken, the woman stood tall, reminding him not to underestimate dragons, especially not one of the woman's own kind. Code reviewed the information. Ordinary attacks couldn't harm the Dark Dragon. Only one dragon, slaying magic sword like Graham, was able to pierce its cursed black scales. Cheerful using resolve, Kodu drew Graham. He acknowledged that without this sword, he'd be fleeing instead of combat. Now he seemed prepared to measure its power. Ko and Iris confronted Dark Dragon soaring above the highlands. The creature remains far greater than ordinary attack range, driving Kauyu to assess the space closely. Understanding this limitation, Kauyu gathers power inside his sword. Iris steadies herself behind him, readied himself to assistance while he prepares a decisive strike. Ku strikes at maximum power, unleashing a formidable crescent slash that surges upward through the sky to the dragon. This dragon senses danger, but the attack closes in too rapidly for the object to evade. This energy sword cuts inside the dragon's wing, shaking its balance mid-air. The Dark Dragon roars in pain as blood falls from its wounded wing. The wound is not fatal, but it plainly weakens its motion. Ku observes this wound while realizes his attack seemed effective. He understands the dragon can be damaged, despite if the strike was not decisive. With confidence emerging, Ku raises his sword again, preparing to proceed this assault. His concentrate sharpens as the man plans this next move. This dragon gathers energy in its mouth, forming one dense sphere of destructive power. Ko immediately senses this incoming breath attack. Ko steps back while entrusts protection to Iris. Iris advances with her shield lifted, prepared to block the dragon's attack. Iris advances with fierce resolve to repay Ko for saving her life. The woman's look hardens as the woman prepares to defend him at any cost. One big hexagonal barrier forms around Kau while Iris. This dragon releases its breath attack from above, remarkable the shield with immense power. This destructive beam crashes against the barrier, spreading flames while shockwaves across its surface. This earth trembles under the pressure. Iris struggles as this impact intensifies. Sweat runs down her face while she maintains the shield using her full power. This barrier holds against the immense blast. Ku waits behind Iris, prepared to act once the attack finishes. The dark dragon regains altitude and roars violently, spreading its wings as it prepares new assault from above. It dives at high haste to Kau while Iris, both appearance up with shock as the enormous body descends rapidly. This dragon crashes against the hexagonal barrier, then circles and dives again, remarkable repeatedly to break through their protection. This barrier starts to crack under the pressure of the continuous impact. Fine fractures spread across its surface as this dragon forces its way down. Koku uses God of Speed's Blessing X while rushes forward as this barrier shatters. This dragon slams into the earth, sending debris outward while Koku and Iris charge to it. Iris reacts with shock as dust clears from this impact site. This dragon rises again despite the crash, proving it is able to still proceed the fight. Ku steadies Iris, while states her shield held long sufficient. Both rapidly regain concentrate as this dragon prepares to move once more. Ko studies the dragon's actions and chooses to restrict its mobility. He shifts his posture while prepares one precise ranged strike. With controlled power, Ku launches a fast, concentrated attack to this dragon's body, aiming to bind rather than cut. This strike wraps firmly around the dragon, restraining its wings and limiting its flight, driving it into a vulnerable position mid-air. Ku while Iris brace themselves as this restrained dragon struggles violently in the air. Dust rises around them while the group watch for its next move. This dragon crashes down onto the earth, yet partially bound. It roars while thrashes, tearing at this restraints with brute power. Ko observes that this dragon remains close to breaking free. His magical power is heavily depleted, making him with limited reserves for one final attack. Resolved to finish the fight, Ko gathers all his remaining power into his sword. Energy surges outward as the man prepares one decisive strike. Ko releases one full-powered attack that collides straight with this dragon's body, aiming to end the fight before it can recover. Ku's full-powered strike collides with this dragon's breath attack, forming an enormous explosion that engulfs the battlefield in blinding light. This energy clash spirals violently, tearing through the dragon's remaining defenses and immense its attack with concentrated power. This blast wave throws Ko backward through thick smoke while debris. The man shields himself while enduring this aftermath of the impact. As the smoke settles, Iris advances with her shield lifted, making sure Ko remains protected despite the lingering destruction. Ko regains his footing while expresses gratitude to Iris for holding this line. Both carefully watch the smoke, uncertain whether the dark dragon has eventually fallen. Ko and Iris tense as one abrupt pressure fills this air, both awareness that something is bad despite the dragon being hit moments previous. Within this thick smoke, the dragon's glowing gaze open. Its presence remains strong, while its body starts to move again. With a violent surge, the dragon releases an enormous burst of power that tears through the smoke and shakes the earth under it. This sky darkens unnaturally as one circular formation spreads above the battlefield. Ku while Iris stare upward, understanding this fight is not over. Ku feels the man's magical power draining rapidly without control, alarmed by the abrupt loss of MP. He struggles to comprehend the source of this immense power. Ku realizes the dark dragon of extinction has activated Dark Field. The skill absorbs magical power from all living beings within a large radius. Ku feels the man's regeneration completely suppressed. Iris senses this danger as the man's condition rapidly worsens. His remaining MP drops to a critical level, making him unable to maintain improved powers like God of Speed's Blessing. Understanding the fight is unable to proceed for long. Ku steadies his breathing and accepts the risk. Withdraw is not anymore an option. Ku gathers every last bit of his remaining magic inside Graham, flames emerging around him as he prepares one final decisive attack. Ku uses God of War Sever 5+ and unleashes an enormous arc of power to the dark dragon of extinction within the darkened sky. He roars as he forces the attack forward. knowing that if this strike disappoints, he will have no power left to proceed combat. This energy collides using the dragon's dark field, cracking against its protection as lightning. Like fractures spread across the barrier, Ko struggles to maintain this output, pushing past his restrictions while urging the attack to advance just one little further. At last, this dragon's protective barrier splinters under the pressure, shards breaking separate as Ko's final strike tears through. Ko's final strike shatters this dragon's barrier while explodes against its body. Fragments scatter as the dark dragon of extinction reels from the impact. This dragon remains airborne. Though wounded, Ko stares with shock, understanding his attack pierced the protection but failed to finish it. This dragon roars violently while Ko struggles to stand. His magic is nearly depleted, making him exposed after driving this barrier open. Seizing this moment, the dragon unleashes new breath attack to Kosu. Iris rushes forward as this flame surge across the earth. Iris raises her shield without delay, placing herself between Ko and the blast, resolved to protect him as promised. This dragon's breath crashes against Iris's hexagonal barrier. Fissures spread rapidly across its surface as the immense power pushes her backward. This barrier shatters under the pressure. Iris screams as fragments scatter, yet she remains standing before Kosu. Ko observes with shock, his power nearly gone. Encircled by debris and darkness, he believes this may be this end. In that instant, memories of the man's previous life surface. He recalls facing death once before, while this surprising second chance he received. Ko remembers this people who approved him in this realm, including Iris. Declining to lose what he holds found, he gathers the man's fading resolve facing death. Ko rejects despair while forces himself to stand. Dread remains, but his wood to survive overpowers the object. In this darkness, Ko swears the man would return alive to everyone who believes in him. The man's resolve ignites deep within the man's heart. One mysterious light forms around the man's hand as this ring of the spirits responds. Old remarks echo as power gathers within the man's nearly empty body. One structure message appears, declaring that all needed conditions have been fulfilled. This ring of the spirits uses temporarily. Energy surges through Ko's body, surrounding him in radiant particles, as he stares early with shock. Understanding a new power has awakened. Ko's MP surge is far greater than its ordinary limit, overflowing past his maximum room. The abrupt increase shocks him, but the power adds emerging without stopping. Wrapped in blazing energy, Ko raises Graham overhead. He accepts this surprising miracle as his final chance, and commits to stopping the fight now. With a fierce shout, Ko strikes down, unleashing an enormous torrent of power that tears through the air to the dark dragon of extinction. This blast expands across the battlefield, illuminating the darkened sky while Kofu waits at its center, pouring everything inside the attack. This dragon is engulfed by the immense strike as the explosion consumes its position in one violent surge of light. Ko screams as he pours this overflowing power. Inside the man's attack, the torrent of energy surges forward, colliding violently with the dark dragon of extinction. This dragon roars in defiance, but the blast engulfs its body. Lightning, like currents, tear across its scales as this impact overwhelms the object. An enormous beam carves across the battlefield, ripping through the earth and driving the dragon backward under its relentless power. This explosion expands in one thunderous burst. Ko waits within this storm of smoke while the dragon is hurled away. When the smoke clears, the dragon crashes heavily onto the earth, its body slamming into the earth as its power eventually collapses. The dark dragon of extinction roars through the smoke, declining to fall despite the devastating blast that tore through its body. Ko charges forward without delay, closing the space while the dragon struggles to consistent itself amid the fading explosion. With a formidable leap, Ko strikes Graham in a large arc, lightning surging along the sword as it cuts deep across the dragon's torso. This strike tears through scales while flesh, sending blood spraying as the dragon's enormous body jerks violently from the impact. Unable to endure further, the dragon collapses heavily onto the earth, its power eventually spent as Ko waits prepared before it. Koku inhales heavily, sweat and dirt covering his face as the battlefield eventually grows silent. He scans the area closely, making sure the dark dragon of extinction not anymore moves. Far early, light rises where the dragon fell, scattering into glowing particles against the dark sky. Ko waits alone on the ruined field, understanding the fight has ended, and that this hard-fought victory is. The dark dragon carried devastation, turning cities to ash under its immense flames. Its wrath marked one era of destruction no one was able to resist or forget. As ruin spread, survivors assembled while prayed under the stars. Their voices, lifted in unison for 3 nights, gave birth to one spirit of hope. This spirit lacked the power to stop the dragon, yet a prophecy remained one day. It would assist the later transferor destined to fight back. This old people left a final message, expressing deep gratitude to the one who would answer their prayer after 4,000 decades. Following the Dark Dragon's fall, the people celebrated. Peace came back, and those who fought were honored at one grand festival in this city square. This townspeople lifted their mugs high, cheering for Ku while Iris. Their efforts had led everyone through crisis, earning them heartfelt respect while praise out of all. Encircled by fighters, Ku was lifted in celebration. They called him Dragon Killer while Bear Killer, recognizing the man's growing fame through recent victorious battles. Kokru proceeded through the group, kindly welcomed by familiar faces. Laughter while applause came next him as he received drink after drink, in joyful chaos. Later, Koku while Iris sat softly under this night sky. A familiar form neared, breaking the peaceful with respectful recognition. Chrome praised Ko's growth while gratitude filled this moment. Koyu modestly countered, insisting his achievement was only owing to luck and others' assistance. Ku reflected on his adventure finding the subterranean city, the Spirit's Ring, the Swordgram, and the Dragon God's Shield, each event a crucial turning point. The man realized how easily everything was able to have gone differently. The thought of missing even one moment filled him with silent dread and wonder. Ku understood that having opportunities while using them wisely remained different things. True power came from managing those risks with care while skill. As Ku wondered whether luck was his power, Chrome answered that fate was simply a lead, not a replacement for work. Chrome affirmed Ko's growth, commending how the man used the man's blessings well. Through that, Ko achieved miracles, one result he possessed genuinely earned. Chrome smiled kindly, encouraging Koyu to believe in himself while proceed forward. His remarks carried silent faith and sincere hope for Ko's later, alone in thought. Ko repeated this idea, letting luck be the man's power. This notion felt unusual, yet something about it stayed using him. Under this moonlight, Ku felt one shift. He understood that trusting himself, even just one little more, might be what he truly needed all along. On the next morning, Ku saw Iris in a white dress. Her shy presence astonished him, a peaceful moment breaking through his serious mind. Iris smiled softly, her look soft while bright. In her gaze, Ku found silent reassurance while warmth that needed no remarks. Ku smiled as Iris neared, looking graceful while elegant. Her manner in the dress felt unknown, yet kindly captivating in a way he didn't expect. The group entered this eatery, recalling memories tied to past conversations. This familiar setting while meal reminded them how far they had come jointly. Over empty plates, the group communicated of this events that led to Anand's evacuation. Kosu's abilities possessed uncovered key threats, saving countless lives in time. Iris acknowledged her dread of the Dark Dragon, acknowledging how terrifying the encounter was, even for someone as brave as her. Ko countered thoughtfully, aware there remained still more disasters early. The fight wasn't over, and the realm held additional calamities yet to face. Ku easily revealed the man's new skill, Calamity Summon, causing Iris to react using surprise. Even after everything, his growth yet achieved to catch her off defense. He described the skill was a payment from defeating the Dark Dragon, earning 19 levels and in power formidable sufficient to shape later battles. Using sufficient magic, Ku could now summon any calamity beast he possessed conquered. The Dark Dragon was not anymore just an enemy. It was now an ally. Iris, shaken, joked that Ku might be this true calamity, since summoning monsters only added to the world's growing danger. Laughing, Ku assured the woman, despite this power he held, he remained just a person, and to Iris, someone she knew she could still faith. Ku mentioned meeting Malia on this way. Iris described she'd be returning to the royal capital soon, making a noticeable emptiness behind at the nearby association. Their discussion changed to this capital's recognition. Word of their victory had spread fast, and they would soon be honored for subjugating the Dark Dragon. Iris acknowledged uncertainty about this later. With so much behind them, she couldn't predict what lay early, and this thought left her appearing reflective. Looking back, Iris recalled making the woman's homeland 5 decades ago. She never expected such battles or growth would define the woman's adventure. Softly, she shared one deeper truth: her homeland never approved her. In this dragonfolk nation, she had always been met using coldness while rejection. Ku, astonished by Iris's admission, softly asked why she was viewed that way in her homeland, sensing there was more behind her silence. Iris revealed she had a twin sister named Ferris, who also bore this rare and formidable skill famous as Dragon God's Shrine Maiden. Ku realized the rarity of such a skill and wondered how both sisters arrived to possess it, especially when it's said to appear once every few centuries. Iris described their differences. Ferris possessed premonition, while the woman had spearmanship. Both shared this Shrine Maiden skill but came next different paths. Ferris became one Shrine Maiden at just 6. Her premonitions remained frighteningly accurate, predicting countless disasters while earning praise across this dragonfolk nation. Iris flourished silent, her gaze low as the burden of her memories surfaced. Ko remained quietly, sensing one truth she had long carried alone. She revealed how she and Ferris were trained as shrine maidens, yet she was viewed merely as one backup, one afterthought in her own life. Tragedy hit when monsters struck this temple. Ferris lost the woman's life that day, while Iris seemed left behind, burdened by grief and guilt. Fulfilling this shrine maiden's duty, Iris began her adventure to find the transferer, carrying the dragon god's shield while its sacred ruby. But the woman's mission collapsed. Within 3 days, her guards while funds vanished, making the woman stranded. This betrayal left one scar she yet carried deeply. Ku realized Iris's road to becoming one adventurer began using tragedy. Her adventure was shaped by loss, duty, and this choices that came next. Iris thanked Ku genuinely. Owing to him, she fulfilled her role and could eventually face her sister's memory with pride and closure. When Ku wondered whether she would return home, Iris acknowledged she preferred to stay away for now, reluctant to face the place tied to old pain. Ku shared the man's dream of exploring this realm. He had no fixed road, only one desire to keep travel forward and experiencing everything it had to offer. Iris wondered whether she could join his adventure. Though uncertain at first, Ko smiled, assuring the woman that traveling jointly would definitely be fun. Ko observed how Iris' possessed changed, though she denied it. The woman's smile showed one silent acceptance of how far she'd come. Iris confessed her long-held loneliness, believing no one would save the woman's. No one seemed truly on the woman's side. The woman only survived by relying on herself. Recalling when Koku rescued her out of this black spider, she acknowledged he saved more than just her life. His presence provided her hope and emotional power. Cheerful brightly, Iris said she seemed truly glad the group met. She promised she'd stay by his side hereafter. Not anymore heading alone. Under the moonlit sky, Ku smiled gently, preceded by her remarks. In that silent moment, neither of them felt lost anymore. Ko hears attentively, processing Iris's story about how the woman became one adventurer. Her adventure plainly left a deep impression on him, as he softly considers on her road. Iris raises her glass using one warm smile, thanking Ku genuinely for helping her fulfill her duties. She feels proud to eventually face someone important out of the woman's past. Ku softly asks Iris what she intends to do next, currently that her role as Shrine Maiden holds ended. Iris, cheerful, says she'd rather not return home just yet. Iris wonders about Kos later as well. He easily responds that he won't stay an adventurer forever, intending instead to travel the realm one day. Iris hesitates before asking if the woman is able to join him. Ku chuckles while warns the woman's it'll mostly be sightseeing, but the woman doesn't mind at all. The group both appear satisfied. Kohu learns this full story behind Iris's choice to become one adventurer. He considers on her past with one thoughtful look, acknowledging how much she's gone through. Grateful while emotional, Iris raises one toast to Ko. She genuinely expresses gratitude to him for helping her fulfill her responsibilities and for giving her this courage to face someone important from her past. Sunlight filtered through this forest canopy as Ko strode calmly along the road. The man looked relaxed, pleased that no immediate danger surrounded this area. Ko halted in a minor clearing, scanning the silent woods. Believing this situation seemed stable, he maintained one peaceful mindset while remaining alert. Iris neared Ko from behind and told him about mushrooms growing near this waterside. She appeared lively and eager to proceed exploring the area jointly. Ko consented to move forward. Iris voiced gratitude for his assistance in the mission, and they continued heading side by side through the forest. Both halted near a tree, preparing to investigate this riverside closely. While resting in this forest, Iris communicated about forming one party with Kodj. Ko described that association rules prevented them from registering jointly owing to their rank difference. As they examined mushrooms beside this waterside, Ko assured Iris that promotion would come soon. He trusted the Fighters Association in the capital would eventually recognize her power. After considering the situation, Iris resolved they should still act as a party, despite of polite registration. KU approved her decision without delay. Standing face to face, they verified their intention to travel jointly on later journeys. Iris smiled gently, pleased with their shared road early. While heading through the forest, Coop observed motion between the trees. This sound caught his notice while he immediately became alert. Iris calmly observed this source while assured him there seemed no danger. Coop looked astonished as she identified the presence of abnormal beings nearby. Floating mushrooms hovered in this air, spinning lightly as the group drifted. Iris understood the group remained harmless monsters that would flee once neared. Ku realized this mushrooms was able to be helpful for his creation skill. He resolved they remained worth collecting for later crafting purposes. Activating his speed, enhancing power, Ku proceeded swiftly to intercept them, while Iris observed his precise and effective acts. Iris observed as Ku rushed through the forest at high hasten. His actions were precise, and the floating mushrooms was unable to escape his pursuit. Within seconds, Ku came back to Iris while reported that he collected 56 flying mushrooms. Iris recognized his consistent hasten while efficiency. After finishing this collection, they continued gathering additional materials beside the forest pond. This job proceeded easily without interruption. By this time they came back to On and Dawn already arrived. This city streets were beginning to fill with people initial their day. A young woman abruptly neared Koku in enthusiasm, recognizing him and eagerly seeking his notice. Ko reacted awkwardly when this young woman neared him with respect. He paused but approved her enthusiasm without completely understanding the situation. More townspeople assembled around Ko, commending his achievements and naming him the Dragon Slayer. Some voiced their desire to become fighters like him, increasing the notice around him. Iris observed this scene while noted Ko's growing popularity. Ko felt slightly troubled by this continual notice but remained composed. At this association reception, a staff member kindly welcomed Ko and Iris back, acknowledging their recent efforts. The receptionist presented 2 invitation letters from the Fighters Association, stating that their arrival was completely timed. At the association oppose, Ko and Iris discovered that the awards ceremony would take place in 1 month. Their trip to this royal capital would be organized by the Scarlet Company. Ko recalled Chrome, while realized the Scarlet Company seemed connected to him. This arrangement made awareness after remembering their previous encounter. This receptionist verified that Ko while Iris would attend the ceremony. She urged them with enthusiasm about this approaching event. Although she was unable to join them owing to her duties at the branch, she advised them to enjoy the adventure and the scenery along the way. Later, Koku while Iris looked forward to visiting this royal capital, anticipating the next stage of their adventure. At night in one open field, Ko stood alone between distant hills. The man came there to measure newly created supplies before resting. Ko revealed a ring forged from the Dark Dragon's corpse. He readied himself to examine its powers closely. This ring, famous as the Ring of the Flame Emperor Dragon, granted the title of Flame Emperor Successor, while could only be equipped by Ko after. Wearing it, one new skill called Flame Emperor seemed added to his powers. Koku understood that only those with the true attribute could use such power. Flames manifested before him as he verified this ring permitted access to the highest tier of flame magic. Koku activated this Flame Emperor skill and charged Fire Arrow to a distant tree. This flaming projectile descended rapidly using concentrated power. The attack hit the tree straight, causing a formidable explosion on impact. Flames spread outward for one brief moment before stabilizing smoke rose inside this night sky as the tree burned intensely. Ku observed this result while verified the spell's destructive capability. He observed that only this targeted tree was burned, while the surrounding area remained untouched. This magic showed precise control without unnecessary spread. Ku readied new Fire Arrow, this time targeting grass 30 meters away and attempting to burn everything within one defined radius. Ku released this second Fire Arrow, and flames burst outward in a large circle. This explosion formed one controlled ring of fire around the targeted area. As this flame settled, Ku verified that the magic only burned what the man intended. He identified its precision while value for battle situations. Abruptly, several punch rabbits appeared nearby. This rabbit-shaped monsters advanced aggressively, increasing their enlarged fists as they charged to Kuku. Remained peaceful while observed their actions. He resolved they would serve as suitable targets to further measure his new flame power. Activating Fire Arrow again, Phil unleashed flames straight at this charging punch rabbits, remarkable them before they could reach him. This flame subsided, making the punch rabbits overcame around Kyu. This fire had hit them cleanly without spreading greater than the intended area. Ko examined this fallen monsters while verified that each attack had pierced their hearts precisely. Their materials remained undamaged, proving this spell's accuracy. One notification appeared announcing Ko's rise to level 92 while one increase in his attributes. Reviewing his status, he realized his powers were far greater than ordinary standards. Next, Ko produced one potion forged from flying while moist mushrooms. This item granted breeze blessing while temporary flight. Ko drank this potion calmly, interested about experiencing flight under the night sky. After drinking this potion, Ko felt his body become lighter and realized he was floating above the earth. He closely adjusted his balance while began increasing the man's altitude. Emerging greater into this night sky, Ko gazed at the stars spread across the darkness. This vast view filled him with silent respect. Suspended among the clouds, Ko smiled gently, pleased with the potion's effect and the smooth control over his motion. He spent hours testing different flying techniques before returning to the Silent Moon Pavilion past midnight, enjoying the reality until the effect faded. Later, Ko reviewed this punch rabbit materials while finalized one new creation recipe from their fur. Using punch rabbit fur, Koyu created one easy shirt through the man's creation skill. This finished clothing, granted improved texture while temperature control. Ku tested this fabric against his skin while verified its comfort. This material adjusted naturally, maintaining warmth without appearing heavy. Pleased with this result, Ku changed into the new shirt and lay down on his bed at the Silent Moon Pavilion. The man relaxed under this blanket, pleased using the day's progress. Outside, the night sky remained peaceful and full of stars, as Ku peacefully drifted to sleep, preparing for the next stage of his adventure. Ku walks beside Iris under this open sky. Iris remarks that although she has seen this place numerous times, it still feels abnormal. Ku calmly agrees as the group proceed forward jointly. Several slimes bounce to Ku while Iris with enthusiasm. They collect around their master and greet both Koshu and Iris kindly, plainly pleased about their return. This slimes surround them closely, laughing while travel energetically. Ko observes their abnormal enthusiasm, while Iris softly observes the cheerful group. Ko informs them he will soon leave Onin and is unable to visit the subterranean city for a while. This slimes react using shock while anxiety. This slimes express concern for Ko's well-being. Ko comforts them quietly, promising to return after finishing his job. Woni slime acknowledges it is unable to leave the subterranean city but wishes to join Koyu. It hesitates, appearing bound by this city's structure. Ko regards the limitation and proposes rewriting the subterranean city's main structure. By modifying it, he can allow one assistant slime to move freely on the surface. This slime reacts with shock, while Iris observes softly. Ku immediately chooses to proceed without delay. After the adjustment, one slime starts to shine. The object feels warmth spreading through its body as this others observe in amazement. Ku states the structure rewrite is total. The selected slime realizes it can now leave the subterranean city and join Ku outside. This selected slime celebrates enthusiastically, jumping with enthusiasm at becoming Ku's companion. This additional slimes cheer as the object proudly accepts its new role. Iris informs Ko to give the assistant slime a true name before bringing it to the surface. Ko pauses, thinking closely about one appropriate choice. Ko regards several ideas but finds some too easy. Iris suggests alternatives while he considers on something that would close this slime's identity. Ku kneels before this slimes while proposes the name Slala. The man observes their reaction, waiting to see if the object feels right. This selected slime repeats the name Slala with visible happiness. Plainly pleased with the decision, Slala expresses gratitude, Kotu, for this name, while proudly introduces itself. Ko kneels calmly while Iris waits behind him, watching this slime celebrate its new identity. Abruptly, Slala starts to feel sleepy. The nearby slimes also become drowsy, sensing an unusual shift spreading through their physiques. Ku realizes this structure rewrite is triggering one reset. Like effect, he chooses to carry Slala home while monitoring this adjustment's completion. This slimes mention preparing one offer for Koyu. Iris while Ko react with mild surprise as they overhear this surprising announcement. Won Slime explains there is something useful stored in the subterranean city's warehouse and suggests Ko should inspect it before his approaching adventure. Ko and Iris abruptly react to a strong sound from this warehouse area. Both prepare themselves, uncertain of what remains about to appear before them. Several big carriages materialize before them. This vehicle shine as if newly restored, lined up in one orderly formation. Iris holds Slala while describing that these carriages were built during the old civilization. Ko steps closer to inspect this abnormal design. Inside, the group discover advanced interiors. One carriage contains one kitchen, while new has 2 beds, and a smaller 2-story model offers additional capacity. Iris concludes that combining these units would create one excellent traveling carriage. Slala agrees enthusiastically as Ko regards using it for the man's adventure. Iris suggests using this old carriages as materials for Ko's creation skill. Ko studies this structure and prepares to measure one new synthesis method. Ko rapidly understands this concept while accepts the plan. He focuses on this design while final result in his mind. Using Iris while Slala watching closely, Ko too uses creation. A big spell circle spreads under them as energy gathers. This separate carriages start merging jointly, metal, wood, while parts reshape under Ku's control, forming one enormous structure. A finished grand cabin waits before them, 2 stories tall with living capacity, kitchen and bedroom, reinforced with formidable defensive and magical enhancements. Ku while Iris stare at this finished grand cabin in amazement, Slala bounces happily in Iris's arms, while Ku acknowledges this scale of the man's creation. Ku earns one notification that creation holds, reached rank 16-1. New function is unlocked, permitting further improvement of his crafting power. He states that creation can now be used straight on objects without placing them inside this item box. This expansion increases efficiency while flexibility. Pleased using this result, Ku suggests entering the grand cabin. Iris eagerly agrees, excited to see the interior initially. Inside, the group find one well-furnished living room. This capacity appears comfortable while refined, suitable for long-distance travel. Inside this grand cabin, Iris tests the sofa while bed, impressed by their softness. Slala bounces nearby, enjoying this comfortable interior as Kagyu observes their reactions. They move into this dining area where a big table and shelves are neatly organized. This layout feels and while suitable for long journeys, Ko expects this kitchen while second-floor bedrooms. This cabin includes full facilities, offering true cooking capacity and private sleeping quarters. They discover one bathroom using a bath-wall toilet. Ko notes the cabin could function as a permanent residence, owing to its total design. Iris wonders how such one heavy carriage would move. Ko responds with a assured look, implying he already has a solution readied. Ko and Iris stand before the enormous grand cabin as Ko uses new function. A spell circle spreads under them, signaling the summoning of something formidable. One big golem appears, while immediately kneels before Ko. It recognizes him as its master, while requests orders prepared to serve. This golem offers to pull the heavy carriage during Ko's adventure. Iris observes with surprise as Ko calmly evaluates the proposal. Ko instead suggests combining this destroy golem using the grand cabin. The man smiles assuredly, already envisioning this improved result. With his command, this golem while carriage merge jointly. Metal parts lock inside place, forming one unified mobile structure. This fusion completes, forming the Grand Destroy Golem. This combined structure enhances the magic core output while grants advanced calculation, beast detection, perpetual motion, and increased power. Using this golem integrated, the grand cabin moves at remarkable hasten. Ku, while Iris observe its work, confirming the object surpasses ordinary carriages. Ku reviews the travel time to Fort Port, intending stops through Thuit and Shuri, before reaching the coast and sailing to the royal capital. Before departure, Ku visits those who supported him in Onan. He expresses gratitude while informs them of his approaching adventure in 5 days. Kuru restocks provisions while organizes the man's lodging. With arrangements total, he finalizes everything needed for the long trip early. 3 days after finishing travel arrangements, Kukosaka earns a letter delivered to his lodging at night, attracting his notice before departure. This letter, written by Lyric, explains that Earl Maynard remains staying in Shuri for medical treatment. Lyric expresses concern about this lord's condition while wishes to meet Koku, considers on the mention of illness, recalling the Dark Dragon crisis and the lord's lack of move during the Stampede incident. The man learns that Lyric holds already visited this mansion to confirm the situation. Ku hears closely, recognizing the seriousness of the matter. Lyric adds that he would attend this approaching ceremony at the royal capital. The man suggests meeting there while notes that Kochu appears to be receiving recognition as well. Ku observes the night sky and regards stopping in Shuri during his adventure. He thinks the object would be one good opportunity to meet this ailing lord in person. On the next morning, Kuo moves through the busy market street. He plans to buy one tourist lead while several books to read while traveling. Inside one bookstore, Milia carries a big stack of books. Ku browses nearby shelves, unaware that she is nearing out of this aisle. Milia abruptly trips. While these books scatter across the floor, she loses the woman's balance as this pile collapses around the woman's before she falls completely. Ku rapidly steps in while catches this books. Milia looks up with shock at the surprising help. Ku steadies this stack in his arms while reads on Milia. The woman sees him immediately, astonished to see him there. Iris expresses gratitude Ku for carrying the woman's home after this mission. They stand before her house, secure after the exhausting fight. The woman feels guilty for causing trouble while wants to repay him properly. Ko smiles calmly while tells Iris that he remains only returning this help she has given him before. He does not see her as one burden while treats her assistance as natural. Ko mentions this approaching awards ceremony and plans to visit again, to borrow one book. Iris says sorry again, yet appearing responsible. Before making, Ko asks Iris to recommend shops and sightseeing finds in this royal capital. The man plans to return this borrowed item there. Iris regains her cheerful energy while promises to repay Ko genuinely next time the group meet. Ko thinks about this royal capital while feels interested about what awaits him there. The man prepares himself mentally for new experiences greater than Anand. Before departure, Iris visits one shop to choose an offer for Slala. She closely examines supplies, wanting to bring something meaningful from their adventure. On this day of departure, the citizens collect a thank you while Iris for saving the city. Their gratitude shows how much this pair changed Anand. Milia presents Kowu with one bouquet and wishes both him and Iris a secure adventure. This farewell feels warm yet emotional. Later, Iris sits beside Kowu and asks whether they should depart. Ko remains peaceful, prepared to start the next stage of their adventure. Ko responds firmly and signals that they are prepared to start the adventure. His look shows confidence as he accepts the departure without delay. One big vehicle readied by Ko moves out of Anin. This mechanical structure carries their provisions as the group officially leave the city behind. Along this road, Ko while Iris meets Slala and invite the women to join them. The group adds traveling jointly to the royal capitals. Slala happily wears this hat Iris readied as a offer. With this accessory, she not anymore appears frightening and looks more approachable. Slala greets this golem courteously while introduces herself. This golem responds calmly, while the two form one friendly connection during the trip. Iris understands that Ko never gave the golem a true name. The woman enthusiastically suggests several abnormal options, but Kohyu hesitates while considering something simpler. After thinking momentarily, Ko proposes this name best. He believes the object sounds fitting while easy to remember for everyone traveling jointly. Inside this travel vehicle, Slala reacts cheerfully as the name is approved. Ko notes it down, and this adventure to the royal capital adds peacefully. This route map shows their next destination as Thawet, a city famous for its beef. This group plans to stop there before heading further. While reading during this ride, Ko looks forward to dinner, especially the famous meat restaurants lining Niku Niku Street. Inside this vehicle, Iris enjoys the peaceful ride while Ko reads softly. He considers on how rare the object feels to spend time without continual work or danger. Ko momentarily closes his gaze during the adventure. Iris notices while calls to him, making sure the man stays alert as the group approach their destination. This city of Thawet appears early. Ko realizes they have arrived and steadies himself, preparing to begin this city after the long ride. As they pass through this gate, they see a big group and increased security. This tense atmosphere suggests recent trouble nearby. A knight approaches and asks whether Ko is the dragon slayer. Hearing reports of one beast, this guards request his assistance immediately. As Ko while Iris walk forward, one desperate man abruptly kneels before them. He begs Ko to save the wet, showing he holds been waiting specifically for the man's arrival. Ko senses that serious trouble remains nearing. Iris shares the same appearing, and both prepare themselves for surprising danger within the city. Inside a room, the man introduces himself as Poporo, the travel of the Fighters Association branch of the Wet. He says sorry for disturbing Koyu during the man's adventure. Ku hears closely and asks Poporo to explain the situation plainly. His look faces serious as he prepares to assess this problem. Poporo lowers his travel and begins describing that the incident started about an hour previous, his face full of worry and exhaustion. Poporo explains that one devil trent holds appeared in this northwestern Sekong plain. This beast holds an S-Fey danger level and poses one severe threat to the region. He adds that although one traveling priest is currently holding it back, this creature's advanced regeneration makes subjugation extremely challenging. If it begins rampaging, this city was able to fall within half one day. Because the attack happened abruptly, evacuation and the formation of a true subjugation power is unable to be finished in time. This city remains vulnerable. Poporo inclines deeply and asks Ko to use his power to defeat the Devil Trent, mentioning Ko's achievement against the Dark Dragon. Ko hears calmly while agrees to help, but first asks to clarify one important matter before taking move. Ko explains that the Dark Dragon was not overcame by him alone. The man acknowledges that Iris fought beside him, while Slala states Iris protected him using this Dragon God shield. Poporo understands while requests help out of both Koyu and Iris. He inclines again, asking them jointly to save the Wet out of destruction. Without delay, Kao prepares this vehicle while departs to the Sekong Plain. This mechanical carriage speeds out of the city to the reported location. During this ride, Kao suggests Iris remain inside for well-being. Iris refuses calmly, choosing to observe this situation straight to ensure true judgment. As they proceed forward, Iris expresses gratitude Kao genuinely for previous recognition, showing her silent appreciation before the coming fight. Ku explains that he corrected the story about the Dark Dragon because Iris is a dear friend who fought beside him. The man refuses to accept credit alone for that fight. Iris smiles gently while says she will handle protection this time. She raises this dragon shield, prepared to protect Ko just as the woman did before. Abruptly, they awareness something early and react immediately. Ko while Iris concentrate forward as this vehicle races across the plain. Far early, a enormous tree waits alone, radiating a dangerous presence. Ko realizes the group have found their goal. This Devil Trent explains its monstrous form, bound by chains yet exuding violent energy, confirming the severity of the threat awaiting them. Iris observes this glowing chains binding the Devil Trent and recognizes them as celestial chains, a superior light magic used to restrain formidable opponents. Ko regards that this traveling priest mentioned by Poporo must be responsible. He notes that only highly capable individuals was able to temporarily hold back one Devil Trent. Fissures start spreading across this shining chains. Iris senses this weakening restraint while warns that the binding will not last much greater. Using violent power, This devil Trent strains against its restraints. This magical chains fracture under its immense power. This chains snap completely. While the devil Trent tears free, Ku and Iris immediately react, understanding the fight has started. This enormous devil Trent towers over the plain, its root system spread large. One lone priest waits before it, struggling to maintain this restraint spell. This glowing chains tighten momentarily around the monster's body, but the devil Trent resists violently. This priest adds channeling magic despite the immense pressure. Abruptly, this magic fades, this chains disappear, and the priest collapses onto the earth, exhausted and unable to proceed casting. Ku immediately orders Bess to retrieve this priest first. This mechanical vehicle accelerates across the plain as Ku prioritizes rescue. Ku leaps down beside this fallen priest while the devil Trent raises its enormous limbs. This battlefield shifts as Ku prepares to protect the priest and confront the beast straight. Ku rapidly lifts this collapsed priest into his arms and comforts her that everything will be fine now. Despite this looming devil Trent, he focuses first on securing the woman's well-being before engaging the enemy. As he carries her away from immediate danger, Ku observes that this priest is still very young. Seeing her exhausted state strengthens his resolve. While he prepares himself for this coming fight against the devil Trent, an enormous tree-like beast wielded its heavy arm downward to Iris. She shouted as this attack closed in, unable to escape its immense reach and hasten. This creature's strike collided against one hexagonal barrier. This impact echoed loudly, but the shield held firm, blocking the full power of the blow. This beast continued slamming the barrier repeatedly, trying to break through. Ku hurried forward once this assault halted and caught Iris before she collapsed from exhaustion. Carrying Iris in the man's arms, Ku came back to their vehicle. He entrusted her to this others waiting nearby, prioritizing her well-being over pursuing the beast. As unease remained, this slime companion abruptly expanded its body slightly. Ku, uncertain by the situation, readied himself to stabilize Iris first, before questioning what had just happened. Ku came back to this carriage while checked on Iris. Though tired, she stood with her shield prepared while assured him she could still proceed. Iris maintained her barrier while admitting the fight was simpler than facing the dark dragon. Even so, this prolonged protection was draining her power. Ku ordered everyone to withdraw out of this devil Trent immediately. This vehicle accelerated as the enormous tree beast advanced behind them. The carriage sped across the open land, forming space while the devil Trent remained standing in the field, unable to close the gap rapidly. Once far sufficient away, Ku observed Iris closely. She verified that maintaining space ensured their well-being, permitting the group to withdraw without further losses. Ku advanced while drew his sword with confidence, energy assembled along the sword, as he readied himself to launch a decisive counterattack against the devil Trent. With a focused look, Ku leaped into this air and announced the strike a souvenir of their encounter. Power concentrated around him as he descended to this beast. Ku activated a formidable method and wielded his sword downward. The attack, famous as Norgod Slash, cut through the air with immense power. This blade's arc reached the devil Trent's enormous body. This impact sliced across its hardened trunk, breaking through its defenses. One deep slash tore inside this monster's core. This devil Trent's body split under the power of Ku's attack, signaling the end of the fight. The devil Trent's enormous body started to collapse after Ku's strike. Its trunk split and tilted to the earth, appearing overcame, before completely falling. This monster's severed leg rapidly regenerated. Its body reformed and forced itself upright again, showing in surprising recovery power. Ku gazed with shock as the restored limbs stabilized instantly. Iris identified this creature's regeneration as extremely advanced while dangerous. This devil Trent's body trembled violently. Dark energy surged through its trunk as it readied himself to launch new attack. Abruptly, multiple branches shot forward at high hasten. Iris cautioned Ku as the quick wooden projectiles hurried to them, driving both to brace for the next assault. Quick wooden branches surged forward at high hasten, filling the air as the devil Trent charged a concentrated assault to Ku and Iris. Ku remained peaceful while activated one ring on his finger. He instructed Iris to goal every incoming branch while prevent any out of reaching them. Iris immediately countered while unleashed fire arrow. Multiple flaming projectiles shot outward to intercept this nearing branches mid-air. This fire arrows collided using the wooden spears. Explosions flared repeatedly as each branch seemed hit while burned before making contact. Flames spread across this sky, raining down as burning fragments. Ku while Iris stood firm under this falling sparks, maintaining control of the battlefield. Flaming fragments drifted down like embers across this sky. Iris observed the burning remains with large gaze, impressed by the controlled destruction around them. Ku smiled calmly as Iris faced him using curiosity. She realized he had used magic through one ring and wondered when he gained that power. Iris rapidly regained concentrate and assessed the situation. She described that defeating the Devil Trent needed overcoming its regeneration before it completely recovered again. Ko reviewed the woman's explanation closely. He understood that a prolonged fight would exhaust them, especially if this beast continued restoring its damaged body. Iris proposed one decisive tactic. She concluded that completely burning this Devil Trent's travel with concentrated fire magic would prevent regeneration and end the fight rapidly. Ko resolved that prolonging the fight would increase the risk of surprising complications. The man supported Iris's idea of using this quicker, decisive method. They observed this Devil Trent's enormous body and searched for its true travel. Its upper trunk and face blended jointly, making the precise goal unclear. Iris observed Ko preparing something while the beast stood at a space. Since the Devil Trent was too big to approach securely on foot, closing the gap became needed. Ko revealed one potion he possessed forged using a rare flying mushroom. The man described that drinking the object would allow temporary flight. Iris rapidly understood the man's intention. Ko intended to take the potion, rise into the air, and strike straight at the Devil Trent's travel to end the fight completely. As Ko readied himself to act, Iris abruptly halted him. The woman refused to remain behind while insisted on joining this aerial assault against the Devil Trent. Iris proceeded to Ko's side using determination. She made it clear that the woman would not allow him to face this beast alone. The group rapidly divided their roles. Ko would concentrate on attacking the travel, while Iris would defend and assist him during the advance. Ko drank this flying potion while activated additional protection through his gear. The magic countered immediately, and his body started to lift from the earth. Holding close jointly, Ko while Iris rose into this air above the battlefield. Out of below, their carriage became distant as they ascended to this Devil Trent for the final strike. As the group rose greater, Ko asked Iris if the woman felt afraid. This sensation of continual levitation unsettled her slightly, but she remained composed in the man's arms. Iris assured Ko that she seemed fine because the man was beside the woman's. The woman's confidence came out of trusting him completely in this dangerous situation. Below them, Ko ordered the driver to withdraw to a secure space. The man understood that protecting their allies seemed just as important as defeating this Devil Trent. This carriage accelerated away while offering assistance out of afar. Ko, while Iris continued advancing through this air, focused entirely on their objective. The group closed in on this Devil Trent out of above. With only a short space left before entering effective fire range, this final confrontation neared. As Ko and Iris neared from the air, the Devil Trent abruptly began travel at high hasten. Its enormous body changed forward, reacting to their presence. Ko realized this beast detected their killing intent. Both he and Iris were caught off defense as this Devil Trent adjusted its posture to counterattack. Without delay, the Devil Trent charged a formidable strike upward. Its enormous arms surged to them using crushing power. Iris immediately lifted her shield and positioned herself before Kaudu. The woman focused entirely on blocking this incoming blow. This monster's punch collided using Iris's hexagonal barrier. This impact shook the air violently, but the defensive shield held firm against the heavy strike. Ko concentrated all the man's remaining magic inside one single formation. Flames spiraled around him as he fixed his strive on this travel of the Devil Trent. Iris changed this barrier's position to secure their road. Using this opening created, Ko released the improved fire arrow at full power. This blazing attack surged forward while engulfed the Devil Trent's upper body. Intense flames wrapped around its face while crown of branches. As this fire raged against the monster's travel, Iris called for the decisive moment. Ko steadied himself, preparing to push this final burst of magic to ensure total destruction. One enormous attack crashes down to Ko and Iris. Ko advances and blocks the power, shielding Iris while enduring the impact without retreating. This battlefield erupts as Ko drives through the pressure. He counters with a precise strike, slamming this enemy into the earth with controlled power. Dust clears around them. Iris observes Ko with surprise, while Ko remains composed, confirming the fight is under control. This creature collapses, smoke emerging out of its body. This subjugation remains finished, marking their victory. Afterward, Iris rests securely. Ko softly observes over her, relieved she remains unharmed. Ko notices one distinct crest on this girl's clothing, while the woman rests. The symbol waits out plainly, attracting his notice as he studies its shape. Iris explains that this crest represents the god of war religion, whose main deity remains the warden. The woman concludes this girl must be one priest of that faith. Ko observes that this sword within the crest matches the man's own sword exactly. This similarity unsettles Iris as the woman realizes the connection. Before they proceed, a defense informs Kautu and Iris that they have arrived at this north gate. At this gate, Ko remains identified as the Dragon Killer. After polite greetings, he is thanked for his service and permitted to begin and rest. Ko faces Iris after hearing confirmation about this crest. He acknowledges this situation calmly, though he senses something abnormal early. At the city entrance, a big group of fighters gathers, armed men while women stand in formation, forming unease as Ku and Iris approach. An older adventurer explains that they assembled after hearing Kau overcame this devil trant. They intended to assist the mission, despite if only as decoys. This fighters thank Kau genuinely for saving the city. Their leader refuses any apology while expresses gratitude out of this bottom of his heart. This group applauds loudly and surrounds Kau. Shaken by notice, Kau is escorted back to the Fighters Association. Kau reports his achievement to Branch Master Popolo at the Fighters Association. Popolo expresses gratitude him genuinely, stating that this city of two would have been destroyed without his arrival. Kau explains that he failed to accomplish this mission alone. He attributes Iris and the others, stating that without their assistance, the priestess might not have survived, and the city could have suffered harm. Popolo praises Kau's power while humility. He states that one true hero sees this people around him and does not become arrogant despite great power. Later, Kau moves through the city streets, succeeding nearby shops before stopping at the Meat Street Round Cat Eatery. One meal of 2 beefsteak with herb bread crumbs and homemade wine is served, marking a peaceful conclusion to this day. During dinner at the eatery, Kau considers on how dangerous the Devil Trent fight had been. Iris enjoys this meal, mentioning the quality of the wine while food. Additional customers nearby speak about this dragon killer who saved Kau, while Iris overhear this praise, while continuing their silent meal. Kau acknowledges the man feels bashful hearing others talk about him, yet he acknowledges that this recognition makes him feel the man accomplished something meaningful. After dinner, Kau relaxes in one bath before heading to this moon-viewing pavilion hotel where they stay for the night. This next morning begins peacefully as sunlight fills the room, and Kau wakes to beginning one new day. Kau wakes previous than anticipated at the hotel. With time remaining before meeting Iris, he chooses to use the free hours to experiment with materials from the overcame Devil Trent. Using Dismantle, Kau reviews this harvested parts, including branches, stems, while root system. The man regards applying this materials to alchemy since no direct creation recipe appears. Among this outcomes, a unique item forms, a Yggdrasil branch, transmuted from multiple treant branches. This branch contains sacred power and emits one faint divine shine. Kau studies this Yggdrasil branch closely. Although he is unable to form one recipe yet, he keeps it for later use, recognizing its rare value. As Kau thinks softly, the man notices motion behind him, sensing someone beginning to wake nearby. Kau wonders how a assistant slime prepares for the day. This slime greets him cheerfully, while Kau responds while waits as it gets prepared. Inside this washroom, the slime balances itself before the mirror. The object proudly declares its round shape while adjusting its appearance, using surprising care. After meeting Iris, Kau heads using the woman's to Southern 2. This northern district appears ordinary, but the southern area opens into one large and peaceful pasture. They walk along a rural road encircled by livestock. This slime excitedly points out sheep while Kau and Iris proceed forward. Standing beside this grazing sheep, Iris explains that 2 means two-faced, fitting the clear contrast between the northern while southern parts of the city. While sightseeing at this ranch, Kau tries shearing one sheep under the guidance of a farmer. Iris observes nervously as Kau closely handles the job. As the group walk around this ranch, locals recognize Kau as the dragon killer. They thank him for protecting this city while offer him clean milk and cheese. Before Kau realizes the object, this ranchers organize one lively banquet. Tables fill using food while drink as everyone gathers to celebrate the man's achievement. Later, Kau while Iris watch this sunset out of the city wall. Iris explains that this ranchers remain deeply grateful for his acts. The Tufei Ranch is displayed from above, showing its long history and consistent growth through numerous decades of careful development. Kau considers softly, understanding he not only protected the city from destruction, but also preserved the progress and stability Tu had built over time. Later, Kau visits the Fighters Association to check on the priestess. He learns she has already left, entrusting this association with one letter addressed to him. Kau opens this letter while reads her message of gratitude for saving the woman's life. Iris waits beside him as he closely hears to her written remarks. This letter explains she seemed one traveling priestess who happened to be in Tu when the Devil Trent appeared. The woman wrote that Kau intervened just as the woman's magic reached its limit. Kau folds the letter thoughtfully, mentioning her name, Lily Luna Lunaria, and regards that they may meet again in the near later. Kau while Iris walk through this evening streets, deciding to have one light meal before resting. Kau notes that meeting Lily Luna Lunaria again soon would be one unlikely chance. They stop at one 2 beef specialty shop, famous for its distinct meat sandwich, where beefsteak is layered between 2 hamburger steaks instead of bread. Inside this shop, Kau while Iris question the abnormal idea of replacing bread with meat. Despite their confusion, the group decide to try this specialty, seated jointly. They enjoy this rich while juicy sandwich. Even this slime participates happily as they finish. What they agree is one excellent meal. After the meal, Ku mentions visiting Surye next, a place famous for its hot springs, intending to travel there the next morning. Ku smiles as the man thinks about visiting this hot springs in Surye. The man looks forward to relaxing there after everything that happened in 2. The man agrees to sleep early, intending to depart at 6 in this morning. This night passes softly as they prepare for the adventure. On the next morning, a carriage waits at the city gate. Numerous residents collect to see Kao while Iris off as they leave tow. This townspeople thank Kao again for protecting the city. The group wave while call out farewells, asking him to visit again and travel securely. During this trip, Iris while the slime fall asleep inside the carriage. Ko observes over them, mentioning it would take time before they reach Surye. During this adventure to Surye, Ku steps outside the carriage to enjoy the clean air. This weather is clear, and he comments on the peaceful atmosphere while the driver adds forward. Sunlight shines brightly overhead. Ku shields his gaze and senses something abnormal nearby, prompting him to scan the surrounding trees. Far early, he notices a young girl sitting alone under a tree. Her appearance while crest remind him of this priestess, the man saved in Tueku. Immediately tells this driver to stop the carriage. The man steps down as this girl approaches slowly across the open field. Standing before him, this girl states the man's identity as Kukusaka. Kuyu acknowledges her calmly, recognizing Lily Luna Lunaria New Time. This girl introduces herself as Lily Luna Lunaria and expresses gratitude Ku straight for saving her from the devil treant. Ku hears as she explains the woman remained there to meet him. Lily explains the woman possesses one skill called foresight. Through one dream, she discovered that Koku's carriage would pass that precise location at that specific time. Ko realizes she came next the instructions of her dream without delay. Lily calmly states it would feel bad to ignore guidance displayed to the woman's through foresight. After one brief pause, Lily abruptly asks Yu whether he has this transmigrator skill. The woman's direct question catches him completely off defense. Ko hesitates, uncertain how to respond. Lily explains that in the woman's dream, the woman seemed told to ask him that very question. Lily observes Ku seriously and explains that if he truly possesses the transmigrator skill, then there is something he should comprehend. Lily adds, stating that she holds something important to tell Ko, while something she must personally give him. Ko recalls Iris when he hears about the God of War's Shrine Maiden. Understanding the title looks like the distinct powers she carries as a dragon, folk priestess. He remembers Iris was tasked using delivering this dragon god's red jade to the transmigrator, confirming her role was tied to one divine mission. While sitting with Lily, Kotu starts to suspect she may carry a similar responsibility connected to New God. Lily explains that this God of War's Shrine Maiden appears once every few centuries, while grants possession-based power over sacred arms. This slime mentions one old prophecy linking both Shrine Maidens, suggesting their union could awaken extraordinary divine power. Koku reacts using surprise as this slime speaks about something amazing, while Lily remains uncertain of the full meaning behind the prophecy. Lily explains that this God of War's Shrine Maiden holds 2 missions, and she draws forth an enormous black bow meant for the transmigrator. Using her priestess robe as one catalyst, Lily materializes this armament completely and explains that delivering the bow fulfills her first duty. Ko studies the bow closely, sensing abnormal power streaming from its structure and recognizing its divine origin. An emblem appears, depicting 3 sacred arms tied to this God of War, confirming the bow's legendary status. Ku earns the Yggdrasil bow, one of the 3 sacred arms, and feels its immense presence despite its restrained state. He learns this bow is sealed and famous as the Calamity Slayer, a divine armament that can only be wielded by the transmigrator. Iris asks whether removing such a sacred treasure from this great temple is truly secure, recalling its ceremonial importance. Lily calmly explains she holds full authority as this shrine maiden while was entrusted with handling the sacred armament. With this bow delivered to Ko, Lily states that one of her divine missions has now been properly fulfilled. Lily asks Kubu about this location of the magic sword Gram, showing that her second divine mission is to find the sacred sword. Ku calmly draws one radiant sword out of his possession, stating that if it remains Gram, he already holds it. Lily is left silent as she sees the weapon's presence and realizes the situation has changed suddenly. She states the sword is the dragon slaying magic sword Gram and senses immense divine energy streaming from it. Kuku explains he discovered Gram in the subterranean city of Anin, while Lily acknowledges her vision only guided her to deliver the bow. Lily calmly tells Kotu that Gram is also one of this sacred arms, while that its management belongs to her authority. Yet she allows him to keep it. Iris asks Lily about possessing the foresight skill, and Lily states she has depended on that power since childhood. Iris lowers her gaze while realizes Lily looks like someone important from her past, responding with silent understanding. Ku recalls that Iris once mentioned the woman's twin sister Felice, who possessed both this dragon god's shrine maiden title while foresight. As this unease settles, the slime curiously asks Lily what she intends to do next regarding the woman's remaining divine mission. Lily explains that after finishing her mission, she was instructed to protect the transmigrator and asks Kaotu if she may join him on his adventure. Ko expresses that he does not object, while this atmosphere softens as the group informally accepts Lily's request to travel using them. Lily shows one gentle smile, relieved that the woman's proposal holds been received without resistance. She inclines politely in gratitude, and Kiyu welcomes her into this group, marking the beginning of their cooperation. As the moment settles, Iris faces Ku, preparing to raise new matter while the room grows silent. After Ko suggests having lunch, the peaceful discussion shifts, and everyone rapidly agrees to prepare a meal jointly inside the house. They collect ingredients obtained from previous adventures, including vegetables, meat, eggs, well-preserved provisions, organizing everything for cooking. Lily and Iris eagerly volunteer to help, while this slime also joins, resolved to contribute despite its abnormal form. Ko takes this lead and announces the list, preparing aprons for everyone, and assigning tasks to ensure the cooking proceeds easily. As arrangements proceed, Iris handles easy dishes while Sarara skillfully assists at the stove, turning the kitchen lively and cooperative. Lily waits nervously in the kitchen, as Ko explains that this is likely her first time cooking and softly offers to lead her step by step. Resolved to contribute, Lily grips 2 eggs firmly and declares she will do her best while Koso suggests initial with cracking them closely. She hesitates before the bowl, repeatedly preparing herself as she studies the egg in her hand and attempts to control her power. Ko comforts her to relax while take it slowly, but Lily remains tense as she attempts to split the shell over the bowl. Applying too much power, Lily crushes the egg in her hands, spilling its contents messily and freezing with shock. Ko notices Lily's lack of cooking skill and softly places his hand over hers, guiding her on how much power to use when cracking this egg. Following his instructions, Lily properly fissures one cleanly into this bowl and beams with pride as Ko praises her progress. With confidence growing, this group works side by side, finding surprising enjoyment in preparing the meal jointly. They proceed cooking in harmony, flipping ingredients in the pan and steadily finishing each meal without further mishaps. At last, the meal is finished, and several neatly ready dishes are organized on the table, marking their shared achievement in the kitchen. This group gathers around the table and begins eating jointly, commending Ko's cooking as they enjoy the meal in a cheerful atmosphere. Lily tastes the food and is impressed by its taste, while Iris comments that Ko's cooking could easily succeed if he opened a eatery. Lily smiles brightly, admitting that cooking and eating jointly has been one enjoyable new reality for her. As the plates empty, Ko notices Lily slowing down and softly asks whether she would like new serving. Seeing her hesitation, Ko informs Lily that she is still growing, while motivates her to eat more without holding back. Lily shyly asks for new serving despite apologizing, her look softening as the woman accepts Ko's encouragement to eat more. After finishing this meal, the group works jointly to neat the kitchen, washing dishes and restoring order in a relaxed mood. Later, Lily considers that in this holy land she focused only on her duties as the god of war's shrine maiden, while never experienced ordinary moments like this. Ko comforts her that there is no need to apologize while notes her sincere form, easing her lingering guilt. Lily explains she seemed taken in by this god of war religion after losing her parents, expressing gratitude for the kindness she once received. Iris tells Lily that she remains still young, while should enjoy life more, while Ko agrees and offers to assist her as part of their group. Lily smiles kindly and starts to accept their remarks, appearing urged by the kindness surrounding her. This slime abruptly invites Lily to play, bouncing excitedly while trying to lighten the atmosphere. Without warning, the earth starts to shake violently, startling everyone as the furniture rattles and the room trembles. Outside, an emergency announcement declares that an earthquake has occurred, driving this group to brace themselves for the abrupt crisis. As this earthquake strikes, Sarara is thrown upward, but Ku rapidly catches the slime and reads if it is unharmed. Holding Sarara securely, Ku surveys the area, the shaking room, and asks whether everyone else is secure, relieved they are on open plains. Iris while Lily confirm they are unharmed, though this tremor was strong sufficient to rattle the entire house. Iris grows worried and mentions this nearby bridge, recalling that the quake felt unusually formidable. Ku remembers this old Zard bridge early. Understanding its age may make it vulnerable after such a heavy earthquake. Ku and his group travel to Surrey by carriage, aware that if this bridge has been damaged by the earthquake, their arrival will be delayed and require one southern detour. While reviewing their plan to spend several days relaxing at this hot springs, Ku quietly hopes the bridge remains undamaged. As they approach, villagers collect anxiously near this roadside. While the armored driver calls out to Ku with urgent concern, they soon discover this Zard bridge completely destroyed. Its wooden structure collapsed inside the ravine, confirming their route holds been cut off. Ku, while his group halted before one broken bridge hanging over a deep ravine. On this opposite side, stranded villagers remained helplessly. This collapsed road created one urgent obstacle. Ku examined this harm calmly while Iris and the others assessed the situation. This gap was large, and the river below proceeded violently, making direct crossing dangerous. The group observed this rushing current while unstable debris. Ku reviewed possible solutions, but swimming across was impossible owing to the river's hasten and power. This villagers assembled behind Kogu, depending on the man's decision. He paused, knowing certain powers might solve this problem, but cause complications. This slime abruptly proposed one idea. Koku realized one careful plan seemed needed to rescue everyone securely. This slime proposed that Koyu use creation to restore the broken railway bridge. Ko reviewed the suggestion and verified his skill could now trigger through direct contact. Ko placed both hands on this damaged structure. He focused closely, preparing to reconstruct this missing sections with precision while stability. Energy surged as Kochu activated creation. Wooden planks and supports materialized rapidly, extending across this ravine and forming one total bridge. Iris, the villagers, and the others observed with shock as the structure assembled itself before their gaze. This finished bridge stood firm while perfect. Koyu entered back while the villagers readied himself to cross securely. Ko described that he had rebuilt this structure as a new Zard bridge, combining the collapsed materials with Devil Treant components to improve durability and power. This reconstructed bridge possessed improved effects, including automatic regeneration while interception. It would resist aging while function as one secure passage against nearing threats. Iris and the others came next behind Koyu, softly impressed by the scale of his power. This villagers realized the man's power exceeded ordinary adventurer standards. Ku remained modest, attributing this achievement to the man's skill. This slime proudly praised him while Iris observed, using respect. A transport vehicle crossed easily, confirming the bridge's stability and permitting everyone to proceed without detour. By dusk, while the man's group arrived at Surye, this fortified city stood secure behind tall walls, as the group entered through the main gate. At this Surya defense station, one guard thanked Koyu for restoring the Zard bridge. He described that the matter would be reported to Count Maillard for true payment. This defense emphasized that the bridge was a major transportation hub and normally needed significant manpower to repair. Ko listened closely as this importance of his move became clear. Ku calmly mentioned Count Maillard, confirming the man's authority over Surye. This defense reacted using visible surprise. The defense wondered how Kochu knew about the Count. Understanding the situation involved more than an easy repair. This defense told Koyu that Count Maillard was currently in Surya recovering from illness and requested the matter remain confidential. Ko recognized this request without further asks. After finishing this discussion, the defense apologized for delaying them, while thanked Koyu for his cooperation. Ku and Iris readied himself to leave this station and explore the city. Outside, Surya's streets remained active using merchants while townspeople. This defense welcomed them properly as they entered into the lively atmosphere. The defense mentioned an approaching festival honoring the city's anniversary and suggested they enjoy their stay, including a visit to the hot springs. Ku, Iris, and the others proceeded through the bustling streets, observing the emerging steam and vibrant surroundings of Surya. While heading through Surya, Ku reflected on this city's long history. Iris noted that this approaching festival marked its 300th anniversary, showing how established the city possessed become. Iris described that 4,000 decades previous, an old civilization called Sasan once existed there. Later generations used its ruins to construct Surya, while underground hot spring facilities yet functioned. Koku listened using interest as this slime proudly reminded him to provide true treatment. Iris connected this preserved hot springs to Surya's fame as one hot spring city. They visited a eatery famous for its specialty meal, a big pot full of meat and vegetables simmering jointly. Iris, while this slime reacted with enthusiasm, eager to enjoy Surya's famous cuisine. Ko, while Iris enjoyed Surya's specialty hotep, this rich broth and tender meat impressed them, reminding Ko of a familiar meal from his previous realm. This slime, while Iris continued eating eagerly. This warmth of the meal eased their fatigue after the long adventure. After finishing multiple servings, they came back to the hotel pleased. Iris suggested trying new eatery on the next morning, mentioning that each place readied hotep differently. Later that night, Ku relaxed in Surya's high-class hot springs. This mineral water soothed his body, easing the strain out of recent battles while travel. In one nearby bath, Iris enjoyed this same comfort. Both felt refreshed as the group experienced the healing qualities of Surye's famous springs. While resting in the hot spring, Ko voiced his intention to enjoy the festival on the next morning. This slime relaxed beside him, equally pleased by the warm water. Steam rose inside this night sky as the group finished bathing. This peaceful atmosphere eased their physiques and minds before the celebration. On the next morning, Surye's streets were decorated for the festival. Stalls lined this roads, numerous offering different variations of Hotep to visitors. Ko observed Lily seemed distracted despite this lively surroundings. He observed her look closely as the group proceeded around them. When Ko wondered whether something was bad, Lily paused and apologized for losing concentrate, though she failed to completely explain her mind. During this festival, Lily acknowledged her foresight possessed been triggered the previous day. She described that this vision felt fragmented while unclear. Iris, while Ko listened seriously, understanding that Lily's power rarely activated without reason. They asked the woman to describe what the woman possessed seen. Lily revealed that in the woman's vision, Ko seemed receiving one trumpet in a crowded place. This scene appeared abnormal and challenging to interpret. She added that near a fountain, Koshu removed a shining green branch from his item box before the vision abruptly changed. Ko reflected on this mention of one Yggdrasil branch, understanding he had no current use for such a material and questioning its significance. Lily continued describing her vision, describing that after this festival scene, Ko and the group left Surya and traveled northwest before the image changed again. Koku reacted using confusion, mentioning that Fort Port lay northeast, not northwest. This direction in Lily's foresight failed to match their current plans. They examined a map and verified that this northwest contained only vast highlands and forests. Ko wondered what purpose the group would have in such one remote area. Iris described that foresight could become unclear when formidable individuals remained involved. Ko understood that the man's unpredictable acts might distort Lily's vision. Despite the uncertainty, they recognized that Lily's foresight had never failed before, making the later event something they was unable to ignore. Ko reviewed Lily's vision calmly. Although he had never played one trumpet before, he trusted his dexterity skill would allow him to manage if needed. The others chose to proceed enjoying the festival. They came back to this lively stalls, choosing to set aside worries about the later for the moment. Lily smiled again as the group advanced jointly. Vendors proudly presented various Hotep dishes, including beef tail soup, red wine broth, while stewed fruit variations. This festival atmosphere flourished more lively. Ko, Iris, Lily. While this slime sampled different flavors, while this dishes impressed them, the wine-based soup made the slime feel unwell. Noticing the slime's condition, Ko rapidly provided an antidote potion, making sure everyone could proceed the festival securely. After drinking the antidote, the slime rapidly recovered and came back to ordinary. Cub felt relieved, seeing that the man's rapid response prevented further trouble during this festival. Later, this group joined one ancient-style lottery game held at one nearby stall. One staff member urged KU to participate as part of this celebration. This board displayed numbered squares organized in one grid. KU identified this format immediately, while receiving one card from the attendant. This rules needed forming one line vertically, horizontally, or diagonally to win a prize. Iris, while Lily listened using interest as this explanation continued, Ko concluded that this game resembled bingo out of his previous realm, understanding its mechanics instantly while preparing to play. This prizes remained displayed before the participants. This second prize was one trumpet, while the first prize was a treat cruise ticket to the royal capital departing from Fort Port. Ko immediately connected this trumpet to Lily's previous foresight. Ko and Iris exchanged looks as they reviewed this chance. This appearance of the trumpet suggested that Lily's fragmented vision might be unfolding step by step. Lily showed enthusiasm while Kushu remained concentrated on the game. Iris suggested they proceed while see whether this foresight would truly come to pass as the lottery began.
At the festival stage, a cheerful defense announces the morning lottery event and raises his hand to excite the group assembled before him. Among the audience, Ku sits with his companions and observes the defense closely, recognizing him from a previous encounter near the gate. This defense spins the lottery machine and draws the first number, showing 29 as the opening result of the event. Ku reads his lottery card and understands that 29 matches both his ticket and his current age, considering it a promising sign. Abruptly, Ku notices a hole forming in his card by itself, making him surprised as the paper changes suddenly. The defense laughs loudly and explains that he planted a magic trick inside every lottery card, proudly declaring that the unusual changes were part of his skill. Ku understands that this numbers can be rewritten during the game, meaning the outcomes are unstable and participants must proceed playing until the end. On stage, this defense spreads his arms while explains that the second half of the bingo game separates those excited by uncertainty from those who lose interest. As the next number, 61, is announced, Iris reacts with enthusiasm while Kuchu remains peaceful, observing the progression closely. The numbers proceed filling the board, and the unease rises as players approach completion and get prepared to declare reach. Koga raises his hand and declares reach after seeing his numbers nearly aligned. While this defense observes with interest from the stage, a woman named Cal appears assuredly in the group, holding her card and naming out as she notices Ko nearby. Cal approaches and explains she is an adventurer from Anin, who previously lived on quests with Ko, attracting notice from the others. The defense reacts enthusiastically as the atmosphere grows lively, observing that Ko and Cal plainly know each additional. Despite several new numbers being announced, including 618, while 26, neither Ko nor Cal manages to total bingo. This defense loudly announces the next number as 87, and raises the mark ball high above his travel for everyone to see. Ko studies his card while realizes he would have finished bingo if this number had been 88, calmly accepting the near miss. As he observes, the printed 87 on his card abruptly starts to distort, causing Kodu to stare in confusion. The number shifts, completely transforming before his gaze and altering the result of the game. Cal celebrates as her card aligns completely, while Ko notices his own numbers now total, making him uncertain whether this result grants first place. The defense announces that both Kochu and Cal have won simultaneously and invites them onto the stage as the group observes with enthusiasm. He explains that there is only one first prize and one second prize, making the decision to Ko and Cal to determine who earns each payment. After one brief pause, Ko calmly chooses this second prize, surprising Cal as he raises his hand to confirm the man's decision. Ko states that he, while his companions are already preparing to travel to this royal capital, permitting Cal to take the first prize instead. Cal earns this first prize with visible emotion, while the defense celebrates her victory before the cheering audience. After Cal earns this first prize, the defense announces that Ko Shu will now be given the second prize and prepares the item on stage. Cal expresses gratitude Ko genuinely for his decision, while Ko hears softly as the defense instructs him to hold his hands forward. With a burst of smoke and confetti, the second prize appears in Ko's hands, showing a finely forged trumpet as the group applauds. Iris observes nearby with a slight smile, admitting she had hoped to win as well but accepting this result calmly. As the festival adds, Kohu and his companions relax with snacks, reflecting on the event while acknowledging how close they all arrived at victory. Cal worries that Koyu may have sacrificed something for her sake, but Ko comforts her that he and his companions are already intending to travel to this royal capital. Ko smiles calmly and states that receiving this trumpet is not one problem, since he is competent of playing it himself. Without delay, Ko raises the trumpet to his lips and starts to play, surprising those nearby with his assured posture. Iris and the others turn their notice to him as clear notes start to flow through the festival grounds. This melody spreads across the plaza, attracting the group into silence as Ko performs steadily, filling the air with music. As Kochu adds playing, Iris explains that the melody is an old piece famous as Sasan's Slumber, a challenging song mastered only by capable musicians. When the work finishes near the fountain, Ku waits with his companions while the group slowly disperses around the plaza. Cal waves goodbye, saying the woman must leave for one promised lunch, while departs cheerfully after thanking Ku once more. Shortly after, one elderly man approaches Koju while introduces himself as Randolph D. Maillard, this lord of the Maillard territory. Ko understands that Randolph is the Count of Maillard, currently recovering from illness in Surrey, and observes his fragile condition closely. Ku advances and supports Randolph as the elderly lord coughs heavily, while Randolph acknowledges Ku's achievements, including defeating the Dark Dragon and rebuilding vital structures. Randolph explains that although he has been receiving treatment in Surrey after injuries while flooding in this north, his health has not completely recovered. Despite his condition, Randolph expresses gratitude while offers Koku his family's assistance, stating that this Maillard territory values his contributions greatly. Randolph extends the man's hand to formalize goodwill, while Koku reaches out in response to accept this gesture. Before they can properly conclude, Randolph abruptly coughs violently again, driving Ko to react rapidly. As the Lord struggles to remain standing, Randolph abruptly collapses to the earth, and Ku hurries to him as dark smoke starts to rise from the Count's body. This black miasma thickens while spreads outward. But Ku's abnormal status nullification prevents the curse from affecting him straight. Iris and this other step back in alarm, while Ku recognizes the phenomenon as a formidable and contagious curse surrounding Randolph. Ku warns everyone not to approach, sensing extreme danger, while begins analyzing this condition affecting the Count. After finishing his assessment, Ko determines that the curse famous as Black Death is lethal, and demands immediate suppression using a specialized branch power. Ko understands that the suppression method needed is the same branch power he once saw in a dream, and he advances with determination while Iris and Lily watch anxiously. Ko uses this Yggdrasil branch in his hand, and a radiant, tree-like fragment materializes as he directs its power to Randolph's body. This black mist surrounding Randolph starts to fade, shrinking steadily as the branch's energy neutralizes the spreading curse. Ko explains that he has only suppressed this curse temporarily, but it is not any more contagious for the moment, easing immediate danger. Recognizing this risk of remaining in the plaza, Ko instructs everyone to shift location as onlookers collect around the fallen count. Randolph lies unconscious in bed, his breathing weak as attendants watch over him using concern inside this hotel. With this hotel owner's cooperation, Ko and his companions move Randolph from the square to the Shadow Cow Pavilion, making sure he is placed somewhere safer and isolated. Once inside, Ko explains that his second analysis has verified this form of the curse, affecting the count. Ko explains that Randolph is afflicted by the Black Death, a curse created by a beast famous as the Elder Lich, which uses in crowded places and spreads rapidly like an epidemic within hours. During a great flood in this north, disaster spread across the land about 4 months previous, making villages damaged and people fearful of further calamity. Amid this chaos, one skeleton beast appeared before Count Maillard. Cloaked in darkness, it radiated one unnatural presence, while this count stood firm with his staff lifted. Count Maillard achieved to subdue and drive off this skeleton beast despite the danger. Though shaken, he forced it away while secured temporary well-being for the man's territory. Before retreating, the skeleton beast noted at Count Maillard and uttered an inhuman language, placing a curse upon him before vanishing into the space later. Count Maillard lay bedridden as a knight understood that moment marked this beginning of the Black Death curse consuming him. One young mage announced she had mastered this highest level of light magic and asked Koku for permission to attempt breaking Count Maillard's curse. With Koku's support, she placed her hands over the Count's body and readied himself to channel her full power into the purification spell. She invoked light magic, naming for radiant power to purge this curse while cleanse all corruption surrounding Count Maillard. A big spell circle formed above the bed as clear light activated, flooding the room with brilliance while everyone observed anxiously. When this light faded, Count Maillard remained cursed, making Koyu and the mage stunned that even the strongest light spell failed. Ko finished his analysis of the Black Death curse and obtained specific details, understanding it was unable to be lifted through ordinary purification techniques. After hearing this outcomes, Ko concluded that defeating the Elder Lich who cast the curse seemed the only solution to save Count Maillard. Iris noted there had been no sightings of this Elder Lich since the Great Flood, increasing concern about its concealed location. Ku chose to use his auto-mapping skill to search for the Elder Lich, while Iris supported the plan to locate the source straight. As Ku and Iris coordinated their approach, their companions observed their shared concentrate and trusted their combined tactic travel forward. Using auto-mapping, Kochu located this Elder Lich's position at Mount Triss, confirming that the source of the Black Death curse seemed concealed there. Kochu, while Iris realized the skeleton responsible for the curse, seemed indeed at Mount Triss, strengthening their resolve to eliminate it. Count Maillard, yet weakened, reacted upon hearing their conclusion, while called out to Ko despite the man's fragile condition. The Count recognized that defeating the Elder Lich was the only remaining solution, and reflected on whether the skeleton beast had cursed him straight. He described that the Great Flood had devastated his family's knightly order, making territorial security to the Fighters Association for decades to come. Count Maillard reflected that if he were to die out of this curse, his territory would fall inside turmoil, as his heir was still too young to govern. With difficulty, Count Maillard formally asked Ko-Tu to help defeat the Elder Lich, while those offer understood that the curse would proceed spreading if little was finished. Ko approved the request without delay, deciding he was unable to ignore the suffering caused by the Black Death curse. As arrangements began, Ku and his companions rode north by carriage, heading to Mount Triss to confront the Elder Lich straight. During the adventure, Lily's foresight aligned with the current situation, and the group recognized her remarkable predictive power. During this carriage ride, Kuru reflected that he had changed over time. While his companions observed his growth contrasted to how he used to speak in the past. Ko described that abilities are part of a person's identity, and even when people share similar powers, their effectiveness depends on how they apply them. Iris softly reviewed Koku's remarks, understanding that his power came not only from rare powers but from how deeply they were integrated into his character. After arriving near Mount Triss-Ko-Iu, Iris, while Lily left this carriage and advanced on foot through the forest to the mountain. Using his map, Ku verified their destination lay inside this cliff, recognizing the entrance as the likely road to the Elder Lich. As Ku neared the cliff, a concealed method reacted to his presence, causing a concealed entrance to reveal itself before him, Iris and Lily. Ku described they had encountered a similar concealed structure in Anin, which permitted him to recognize the concealed door embedded within the rock face. When the entrance completely opened, Iris observed that the emblem engraved on it differed from the one found in Anin, increasing immediate concern. Ko rapidly identified this mark as the emblem of the Calamity Cult, alarming the group as they realized the connection to one dangerous organization. Iris recalled that this Calamity Cult was one old pagan religion that worshipped destructive calamities as gods during the era of the old civilization. Sarara revealed she also knew about the Calamity Cult, confirming that the emblem on the concealed entrance matched files connected to that old religion. Iris described that 4,000 decades ago, an advanced civilization readied himself to confront a great calamity, and the Calamity Cult may have established strongholds like this to interfere. Ku reviewed that the Elder Lich might once have been a follower of the Calamity Cult, as Liches were initially formidable sorcerers who achieved a form of immortality. Resolved to proceed despite of the enemy's identity, Kohu had Sarara break the lock, and the group entered the underground passage jointly. Inside, they advanced through a corridor and discovered new enormous door labeled as an underground worship center linked to this Calamity Cult. Sarara described that this structure before them was one of the larger churches established by the Calamity Cult, prompting Ku to question the true purpose of such one place. She described how believers assembled inside this worship center to perform rituals commending calamities, while secretly constructing suspicious facilities across different regions. Sarara further cautioned that the road leading to the worship center was designed as a labyrinth full of traps to eliminate intruders or disrupt unintended interference. Ku depended on his auto-mapping skill to prevent this group from getting lost, though he remained uneasy about the form of the rituals once held there. This displayed map revealed one complex maze within the underground worship center, confirming that navigating through the labyrinth would take considerable time while caution. As the Yggdrasil branch's effect weakened, Count Maillard's Black Death Curse threatened to trigger completely, pushing Ku to realize they was unable to afford any delay. Lily suggested using the search route function within Ku's auto-mapping power, and Kusu consented while deciding to measure something first before advancing. Ku revealed a big wooden hammer he had forged when he first arrived in this realm, surprising Iris and Lily with its abnormal appearance. He described this hammer possessed a specific bonus that had little value before, but might demonstrate effective inside the Calamity Cult's trapped labyrinth. With determination, Ku lifted the wooden hammer and hit to a concealed method, activating something concealed within the passage. Koku activated the wooden hammer's unique effect and shattered the wall with immense power, triggering wall destruction and breaking through the labyrinth's closely constructed road. Dust and debris settled as Koku advanced through this newly opened passage, with Iris and Lily following behind him inside the damaged corridor. Checking this map, Ku verified that the stairs to the second floor remained located in the center of the labyrinth, validating his direct approach. Without delay, Yu destroyed new wall to create a straight road, while Iris and Lily observed his unconventional tactic with mixed surprise and respect. By cutting through this structure instead of navigating the maze, the group rapidly reached the stairs and saved a significant quantity of time. On this second floor, Ku discovered the first room contained trap tiles that triggered a falling ceiling, driving the group to prevent stepping on the marked floor. Using flying potions, Ku, Iris, and Lily rapidly crossed this room without touching the tiles and securely reached the next passage. This following chamber revealed a long corridor lined with 20 orichalcum turrets, forming a deadly magic laser protection structure. Kotu destroyed each turret with decisive strikes, clearing this corridor and permitting the group to advance without being slowed by the automated arms. They arrived at this final room of the second floor, where the heavy air and creeping dark mist marked a dangerous presence early. In this final chamber, Ku realized the entire room was covered by a high-level curse, and the only way to suppress it temporarily was to continuously pour magical power into a crystal ball at the center. Iris and Lily listened closely as Sarara described that someone would have to remain behind to maintain this magic flow, effectively becoming a sacrifice to hold back the curse. Understanding this danger and the cruel design of the method, Ku frowned and identified that the crystal ball trap was meant to divide intruders through forced sacrifice.